order. Approval of the agenda as presented or amended.
I'd like to amend, add public forum so that these gentlemen can talk to us.
Second.
Further discussion?
I don't know if we need to add it or not, but and to the agenda, just go form a resolution for IPAPE, just to take a look at it. Even though just in preparation for the March meeting.
I think we can look at, I just don't think it's an actionable item.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Anything else? Any further discussion? Ken?
Yeah.
Doug?
Yep.
Joel?
Yep.
And Perry?
Yep.
Oh, hi Sue. We just approved the agenda. We amended it to allow for some public forum.
Yeah.
You forgot to tell me.
Oh, that was muted.
Sue? Hi Sue, can you hear me?
Hear me now?
Is the library open? Because I think these gentlemen want to split.
Oh, you, okay, that's fine.
You can go.
I'll
We
respect
can get
you.
out.
No, that makes no difference, yeah, that's fine, you bet, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go first too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, want me to get started?
Call the roll.
Oh, yeah, what do we, yeah, I didn't even do a roll call today. Perry?
Yeah.
Sue?
Just someone have to accept there.
Oh, there it goes.
Sue, take your phone off
Can you
mute.
accept on your side?
No, it doesn't show anything
Joel?
on my side.
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And Ken?
Yeah.
Alright,
That's something.
Oh, connecting.
back to, open forum.
Which we we're good to go.
Can you hit accept? If you can.
The right one.
I guess the black.
I'm not going to be able to come home tonight. And
That was a good show.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, that's right outside.
Yes, it looks like it's right outside.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Wendy, I apologize, I didn't get your show stopped.
I didn't even know you could watch TV up here.
Can those gentlemen get in the library if that's where they're going?
I don't know. I don't know if it's open or not.
Is that where they were headed?
And I didn't mean to jump in first. I
Fair
just
enough.
was trying
Thank
to
you.
make sure I could hook to the TV. I like this technology.
Okay.
Better than our conference room technology, it seems like.
Alright, the floor's all yours.
So anyhow, how much time do you want? 15, 20 minutes? What, it kind of depends on, you know,
10 to 15.
10 to 15, perfect. So I'll keep it more of a Q&A as well, but I did put some, a couple slides together that we use for an introduction. We did do a layout for the water treatment facility, and I can leave some generic copies that do not have any of the sales numbers with them. So when we work with other RFPs, Polk County and some of the others, they oftentimes will request an RFI ahead of time, request for information. So in doing so, they want to make sure we keep the numbers redacted, or we don't provide that to them in a public forum that has to be published. They, again, reserve the right to publish what our design and layout looks like, but without any of the numbers, you know, with that. Now, when it comes to the formal RFP, of course, that's all published. But at least that upfront, they want to make sure that no one is portrayed as having an advantage over someone else. So I can email that kind of information down the road tomorrow, next, you know, Friday, etc. So again, I should have started. Scott Prohaska with One Source Solar, based out of Ankeny. We've been in business for for 11 years. And our co-owner's been doing this for about 17 years. He was with another company, and as it grew, he wasn't satisfied with the customer service, so he and a longtime friend that has multiple businesses started OneSource. So we work with a lot of cities and counties and schools with formal RFPs, as well as some of the other industries that we'll talk about. So just a hit on a couple high-level areas, and then jump in when you have questions. So I won't go into the detail of why you are looking at solar. You know the different benefits that both from a financial standpoint, sustainability, etc. So we won't go into detail there. What we might want to touch base on real quick is this 30% and the changes that's coming about with everything that Trump is doing. So I only brought 4 copies of things, figured you could pass around. I'll just leave them. The top one is the reason I'm passing out because it has these key dates. You two can share for now. And then that second page, or the second document, very informal, but it's more information about OneSource that you can follow up down the road. I keep it non-marketing published, so that it's small resolution files and I can email it out to different companies when they're asking about who OneSource is. So I printed it out, again, nothing fancy, but it does give some details of us. And the second to the last page is a lot of examples of projects that we've worked on recently. But the key dates that kind of come into play with your RFP is we're in this region right here where January 1 through July 3rd. Anything contracted or safe harbored, so I know you're going through budgets based on timing, anything contracted in that time frame, you have up to 4 years to build, or the end of 2030, whichever it comes, or whichever's the shortest. Not that that's a concern with the type of array you're looking at, but that's one piece of it. The second piece is there is FIOC requirements since January 1, but they're less restrictive than they will be come July 4th. And when anything contracted after July 4th has to be built by the end of 27. Again, not an issue with what you're looking at. But if the city said, hey, we want to do this, but we don't have the budget this year, but we will have it next year, or we'll make sure we do, you can safe harbor the project. Meaning you can put down a minimum of 5%. I would recommend 8 to 10 just to make sure that in case project cost changes, you're not going to get in trouble and not qualify for that 30%. But you can safe harbor it if you do that before July 3rd. Again, I know your due date's the 1st, that's why that may be something to consider in terms of bumping that up a little to give you time to react. But you could safe harbor and have a couple years to put budgets together and actually build the system. So a little bit different topography with solar right now with what Trump is doing in the big beautiful bill, but that's kind of the gist of it that would affect what the city's looking at. Everybody knows net metering with Alliant Energy, correct? We don't need to get into that piece of it to where you can go after 100% of the usage out at the water plant with the 1-for-1 credits. Any more questions or detail there, I'd be happy to dive into it. But and the other key out there is typically on a water facility like that, with the usage you have, you likely could be demand billed, but you're not. Having said that, you're probably on Alliant's radar, knowing the usage there and the fluctuation in a water treatment facility, that you could be put on demand billing down the road if not careful. Once you install solar and you're offsetting those kilowatt hours, then they will not put you on demand. If you're on demand with Alliant, it's almost impossible to get off of demand billing. So again, we can go into a lot more detail if needed there as well. OneSource Solar, as I mentioned, based out of Ankeny. In our 11 years, we've done over 45 megawatts worth of solar. We're a complete EPC, so we handle all the engineering, the procurement, the design, all the construction with in-house installation crews, and then of course our in-house service department for aftermarket support. Part of that, which I don't touch base on, but we do have a 5-year workmanship warranty. So that covers basically everything the component warranties don't cover for that first 5 years, including truck rolls. So you're not paying for mileage from Ankeny to here or time of a tech on site, as long as they're doing warranty work. If a storm comes through and you're doing something, replacing components through insurance, and it's not component warranty, then our 5-year workmanship doesn't apply as well. But that does make it very nice for the city to where you really don't have to budget any kind of annual maintenance fees for the first 5 years. And then of course and part of that 5 years, we also monitor what we call active monitoring of the system. So the city has access to the monitoring platform that'll show you what it's producing daily, weekly, monthly, what the panels are doing. You have access to that for the life of the system. But the first 5 years during that workmanship warranty, we get emails on each system, and we'll know if there's a problem long before the city may see that there is. And so we actively monitor that. Those types of programs after the 5 years, there's different maintenance type agreements and monitoring agreements that can be put in place if the city would want to. Again, number of industries that we touch on. More importantly, I know it's small, you don't have to worry about it. That's the second to the last page of that handout. But we do work with a number of public entities, and obviously meet those stringent requirements, so can definitely meet the requirements that the city of Maxwell has as well. And we work with a number of city entities and counties on multiple projects. So not just one and done, they come back for more and more. Of course, we have to be successful in the bid and that process every time. So we're proud of being able to work with some of those. And as one of the companies in the state, we're probably one of the only, commercial, if you will, behind the meter company that has installed over 1 megawatt on a project, and we've done several projects that are over 1 megawatt. So we probably have 8 to 10 projects that we've done. There's other companies saying they may have quoted or looked at 1 megawatt, but they outsource the installation piece of it. So we do handle all of that in-house. We've also worked on the residential side through third parties. We were awarded 5 different what they call grow solar type programs. So again, just the kind of the credibility in terms of working with others and being successful in winning those types of projects and being able to support them. They wouldn't invite us back if we didn't do the program correctly the first time. So really, in terms of having things to look at, that was the main part of it, just to touch base and see what kind of questions that may drive regarding OneSource and anything in detail there.
Question I have for you has your company developed a standalone energy source? So one of the considerations that we're considering is, selling our own power to the community.
So as of right now in Iowa, community solar is not legal.
Okay.
We have done utility scale solar with Franklin County and Prairie Energy and those types of folks. The RECs that put in community projects, if you will, but they're a utility company, so they can do that. However, the bill has made it through the subcommittee this year at the House level and is expected to get through the House. Our president, co-owner Todd Miller, is also the president of ISETA, which is the Iowa Solar Association. So that I may have not even updated that up there, but in any case, so he's at the Capitol quite often, and I'm down there too much. But there is a community solar bill that's on the floor of the House right now. And if that can make it through and get to the signature page, then absolutely that's a game changer. And it's in a couple different aspects. One is there's a virtual net metering piece where you could take the extra land you have at the water treatment facility, tie into that meter out there, and then be able to offset the bill at the facility here. It's got to be within so many miles. Same entity, etc. So they've really fine-tuned it. It's also great for farmers that might have 2 or 3 different hog sites and a grain facility, have a poor piece of ground over here that's close to electrical. They can put enough solar in there to be able to electronically on their bill offset the other hog facilities, etc. So, and also for the community piece where the city could put up or have a third party put together a power purchase agreement, own the solar array, sell the power to the city, which then distributes it out to small parts of the community. So that's in the works now, and we absolutely will be a big player in that. That's why we're instrumental in helping that bill get through. But as of now, it's not legal in the state. It's not allowed.
Is it the solar that's not allowed?
It's the utilities and the Iowa Utility Commission, so both Alliant and Mid-American record up through the Iowa, used to be Iowa Utility Board, now it's Iowa Utility Commissions. And they have been the reason that it's not passed any legislation to become legal in the state. So as the city, I'll bounce around just quickly, as the city, you have two purchasing options for the solar at the waste facility, or at the water treatment facility. One is a direct buy, of course, where full system cost out of pocket. After the system's installed, as long as everything's qualified for, and we help with this piece of it, you then apply through the federal government for your direct pay, and you'll get 30% of that system cost back in the form of a check, in the form of direct pay. So you're familiar with that, option one. You get the full benefits of all the solar savings, of course, all the community sustainability, 100% of that power that's being used out there is being generated by the solar system if you have the budget to do that size of system, etc. Second option is a power purchase agreement you're probably familiar with, called a PPA. A third party buys and installs the system. They get the tax credits, they can depreciate the system because they're a taxable entity. They'll turn around and sell the power back to the city, likely at a discounted rate. We have spent a lot of time and money as OneSource with attorneys putting together an all-encompassing power purchase agreement. And then you go into the addendums and put all the details of here's what you're paying per kilowatt hour year one, here's what the escalation rate is, here's what the buyout is year 6. The owner of the system has to own it a full 60 months in order to get the tax credit. Here's what the buyout is at year 7, year 10, year 15. They're 25-year agreements, and you know exactly what those costs are going into it. But now you only get a fraction of the savings because they're selling the power to you. But the nice thing to the city is you can budget. Here's what our water treatment facility is going to cost this year. Here's what it's going to cost next year, et cetera, because you're pretty much locked in. Depending on Alliant, you're not going to know what those fees are, right, and what those rates are. We know, we just met with the CEO of Alliant Energy, and she said that in the next 7 years, they're predicting at least a minimum of a 30% increase in demand in Iowa alone, just due to AI and the data centers. So we know rates are gonna follow. So, and it's gonna be 11, 12 years before they can get nuclear plants on site, online, so they need that power. Big solar projects are one piece of it, but it's just the rates are gonna go up. They're gonna be buying more off the open grid. So those are the two buying powers that you have. In some states, power purchase agreements are not legal. Just like in Iowa right now, community solar is not legal. But if that passes, then that's a game changer for everybody. So you can call your local congressman and help get that bill through the House and Senate if you'd like. Other questions specific to solar or OneSource? So real brief, and I'm bouncing quick on everything here, and be happy to come back at another time or sit down with whoever on the phone and go through this in a lot more detail. But the system out there at a first glance, and I'll save talking numbers until I email that to you so it's not published, if you will. And anything else can be published, of course, but like Polk County, just redact the actual dollar amounts. At least now, RFP, that's complete, then you gotta abide by those rules. But it looks like you're using about 338,000 kilowatt hours. So again, solar, we talk how many kilowatts is the solar, but what you're trying to do is replace the kilowatt hours you're buying from Alliant. So you're roughly 338,000 kilowatt hours.
There's year?
Per
Annual
year,
basis?
annual. Everything's based on an annual because they have annual net metering, right? Once a year they clear your bank that you build up and you start all over. With Alliant, there's some different numbers that come into play. Through the inflow-outflow tariff, they look at the last 3 years of usage. And you can size, if you want, up to 110% of that 3-year average. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, it's on my computer, but the 3-year average, I think with the 110% of the 3-year average, you could size the system up in the 370,000 kilowatt hours. So if you thought usage was gonna go up, Sometimes with treatment, you get more efficient, pumps are more efficient, usage goes down. If there's expansion or, you know, other things that are maybe in the works, then you might wanna try to max that out. Otherwise, you would size, I think if I recall, the last 12 months was the highest usage of the previous 36 months, and that's that 138,000. So you'd wanna at least initially size to that 139, 140, or excuse me, 340,000 kilowatt hours. That's about a 245 kilowatt system, plus or minus. Looking at a ground array, fixed array, most cost effective, no moving parts, no annual maintenance, facing straight south, and laying out close to the ponds, close to where that electrical is. Now, we haven't been on site to do that site evaluation that you'd want to do before we go into the RFP to have that exact electrical cost. We know what the solar components cost for 245 kilowatts of solar, but we don't know that AC tie-in piece. How far is the trench? Can we do the line side tap? Can we do CP cabinet? What's the tie-in look like? So that's the unknown for the budgetary piece. But I do have what roughly those numbers look like in terms of putting together budgets for you, and I can send that to you, to the group and to, here afterwards. So that's what that system looks like out there. You have a fair amount of room. Sometimes in the water treatment facilities in different towns we've worked with, they're kind of tight with room, believe it or not. So at least initially, without getting on site, it looks like it's a good layout. And with the Lion, your average, or your per kilowatt hour, you're paying 18.3 cents. So every kilowatt of solar produced by that, or every kilowatt produced by that solar is saving you 18.3 cents. You're looking at payback periods, again, depending on final cost, anywhere from just under 4 years to just under 5 years, if you were to buy out with that 30% direct pay. So that's, in that range of what, 22 to 25% return on your money. So by all means, if the city has the funding or can get the funding, that direct purchase is very beneficial to you. But it also at 18.2 cents is very attractive to investors. If you did go down the power purchase route, it is attractive to someone to come in and say, hey, we can charge you 4 or 5 cents less, 3 or 4 cents less, whatever that looks like, maybe even more, and still cash flow it ourselves, save the city some pretty good money, and then you maybe buy it out at year 6, and then you're saving 100% of it. So we'd be happy to put together those PPA numbers and what that looks like as well. I'm buzzing to Western Iowa tomorrow, talking to a school district there that's only looking at power purchase agreement. So I just did all of their layout, the numbers, and what it looks like for them on the PPA side.
Okay.
So I know I spent more time than a few minutes we talked about.
You're all right.
But wanted to make sure that we get through some of those questions and kind of the quick high level on the solar piece as well.
We appreciate the information. Appreciate you taking the time to come down.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Just how many panels are we talking to generate that? Just curious.
So right now, the big thing is getting FEOC compliant modules. So we are using VSUN. We use probably a 625 watt VSUN panel that's not yet. It starts in March to be manufactured down in Texas. Take that back. It's assembled in Texas. But of course it doesn't, it meets the FEOC compliant, it doesn't have the Chinese content. So I looked at this with 600 watt modules, because that's what we're currently installing, and it's 408. If I did the math right, so 600 times 408, that's 244,000. So that's the 244 kilowatts of solar.
And the size of the panels?
They're roughly 3.7 feet wide by 6.8 feet tall. The 625s, they're going to be closer to 7 feet tall. And a fixed ground array is 30 degrees straight south. That's your most optimal design. In the summertime, you'd love it at 15 degrees, more sloped back because the sun's higher in the sky. In the wintertime, you'd love it at 45 degrees, but it doesn't make sense to put any kind of motion to it or even manual adjustments. You add 2 more panels and you're going to get the same production. So they're too high, stacked too high. So on those little bit larger panels, if we do the 625 watt, which we'll be installing by, the time this project kicked off, you're gonna be at that 30-degree angle, you're gonna be at probably 12 foot tall on the backside. Because we like to keep it about 2.5 minimum, if not 3 foot off the ground, depending on east-west topography, so that you don't get snow buildup and that type of thing.
Do you use any, do you ever park them higher than just above ground?
Yes.
You ever, because, going down south in Arizona, that, it's every parking garage is a solar array.
You bet. So we do a lot of carports as well. They're very nice to look at. In fact, there's a couple schools right now that we have been awarded the projects that will have carports. Out there, it's probably not needed, of course, because, save the expense. You're adding probably $1 a watt for that carport structure to be built. But absolutely, if there's city properties in town and different things, carports are now have become a very feasible solution. 3 years ago to maybe 5 years ago, they were not economically feasible for the most part. They are now. Just like large battery systems back then were not feasible, now they are.
Okay. All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, Wendy, you might have to help me get this off of the TV.
Okay, if you do it again.
Yep.
Yep.
Disconnect.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, there we go. All right, thank you very much. I will.
You know,
one last quick
tears
thing is to give you
from
a
some of them, how quickly that they came back, that they were declaring to me and
Thank you.
I know Wendy's contact if you have any questions to email out. And if you're in agreement, then I will email the details of that layout later in the week.
Okay. How do I?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No problem. How do we connect?
If you do the Windows and K at the same time, it should pop up an option in the.
I know we looked at it.
Is it the Roku or the?
Home panel for
It is.
TV.
It actually
The
makes you
TV.
makes you look really smart because it's pretty easy to do with that.
We're gonna need that.
So did I.
Increase.
So
Can you
did
hit
I.
accept, Dale?
Ramping in tech.
Yeah. You hit the-
Can you hit accept again so he can cast?
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't mean to jump in front of you guys.
No, you
Don't
got
worry.
it. You got it, man.
I thought I did accept.
Yeah.
I love
Why don't you try that again?
Thanks, ma'am.
Try hitting that again.
All right, thanks everyone,
You
appreciate
bet.
it.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Scott.
You bet.
Drive safe.
Oh, you want me to hit it again?
Good to meet you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
Windows K.
How you doing? Yep. I'm Chris Mudd.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Says
Joel,
it's searching again.
Westendorf
for
family
device.
from Northeast
No
Iowa.
displays are available.
Miller.
Thank you.
That's weird. I had it and then now it's not
Chris
allowing
Mudd,
me
nice to
to.
meet you.
Ken James.
Hi, Ken. Mitch, thanks for having us.
If you hit it again, is it?
When I do it again, I just keep searching.
Well, first off, while TJ's getting sorted out there, I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are and how we got in this business. I got in this business 5 years ago. I've been in the automotive advertising business. We own an agency that works with 2,000 car dealerships around the country. And when COVID started, car dealers really didn't need a lot of help selling cars. You guys probably bought a truck, probably paid too much for it and got way more for your trade than what you normally would have gotten. And so business slid, and so I started a solar company. I thought, you know what, we're gonna help people with it. Hi, I'm Chris Mudd.
Oh, Jody Gass.
Nice to meet you, Jody. I'm gonna help people with energy. We're gonna start another business, and when the car business turns back around, that'll be great. But we're gonna be in the solar business and help people lower their energy costs. We're gonna recover lost profits by eliminating a bill. And so we started doing it. We started selling residential solar just to learn how to do it. And in the last 5 years, we've put in over 500 systems. And we've really done I think a great job building a brand. We built it on, I know I'm in the advertising business, but we built it on honesty and making sure that we end up doing what we said we were going to do, and that's what we've done. And we've done a lot of great projects. I don't think we've done as many as the last guy you just had in here. Those guys have been at it for probably 10 years. They're doing a good job. But we're doing good too. But we're family owned. And we've got 12 employees, and you know, it's about creating energy that's going to work. It's about giving another source of energy. And so I want to ask, what's got you guys interested in solar? Just the high electric bills? Because you're paying, I think I saw 18 and a half cents
Yeah,
a kilowatt hour.
well, as you're going, I'll hand out just a couple things.
We know you're spending about 60,000 a year, is what you spent last year on
We
On
can show you
electric.
exactly what you spent.
I think it's worse than that.
I do.
Well, that's
So
just
here's a
one
breakdown
meter.
of what you get.
Just
Okay,
one meter is
okay,
60 some thousand, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, you've got a bunch of meters, I'm sure you're paying Alliant as much as you can, because they've got the most expensive energy in the state of Iowa.
It's coming from this, when he sent us, so, thank you.
So as you guys have thought about this, and I can show you the design of what we're talking about doing, but maybe you just want to go over the design first.
Yeah,
and then
so,
we'll
I mean,
talk about-
originally, you know, just looking at the Google Earth imagery, you know, we kind of have made a few assumptions, right? We thought maybe over here would kind of be good, thinking that the meter wasn't way over here, which this would be 550 feet, which would be an added cost. You know, you're gonna have to do 4-inch wire. Going 550 feet is expensive. But, you know, another thing that we found out is you got 3 cans up in the pole. So you got 50 kVA for the 3-phase, you got 150 kilowatts that you can use for inverter. So when I originally built this, Alliant allows us to offset to 110, but the way that your infrastructure is, we had to build it to a 207, and then with the 150 kVA, that makes sure that all those inverters are maxed out. Does that make sense? So you got 3 cans of 50, we can only go up to 150 on the inverter size. That's just the technical, that's just where you're at. Now, if you add a lagoon, which I believe Scott mentioned, that could be in the process, maybe it's at the beginning talks, I don't know. That you guys are growing as a city is what it sounds like, and you might need to add that to your infrastructure to grow as a population. You know, this would be a good opportunity to, you know, maybe add a 250 to 300 kVA to kind of offset that electrical cost, and then kind of move forward to use that as part of your solar project. Now, that's where your meter's located. So that's the way I built it. I could do it in 2 rows. We just kind of use that as a general, and it sounds like whoever's farming that is farming it on city land. So that's a city land. So we can adjust the design, but I just had something preliminary that I wanted to do. Originally, I thought we were going to be more east to that grassy area, but you know, I kind of moved it over. So you want me to keep going?
Yeah, just take them through, show them the
Okay, so
production.
So right there, I mean, you're looking at. Sorry, sometimes this thing gets a little screwy. So you know, these panels are Goldie. Now you know you heard probably the previous guy talk about FIAC. It's a foreign entity of concern, which kind of limited on, you know, we can't buy anything from China, can't buy anything from North Korea, Russia, which I'm sure you guys do. But these Goldies will be FIAC compliant. So whether you guys would buy as a city outright, or if we discussed a PPA, that 30% ITC would be, we'd be compliant with that, and we'd be able to, whoever, you know, whether we bought it and did a PPA, or you guys bought it outright, you would be able to get that elective pay. So that's why you want to use that FIAC compliant. Same with the SMA inverters. And as you see, I got 3 of them. So that's going to be, that's just the max for what your transformers can take on, if that makes sense. So right now we could offset 90% of your the sewage maintenance facilities annual offset based on your last 3 years or your last 12 months. So what I did was, you know, this gray, when you see this gray, that is actually what you've used. So that's your usage. Now, the blue is what we're predicting based on the last 50 years of data that we've had in the latitude, longitude, where we're at in the northern hemisphere of Iowa, of what you're going to produce with the 590 watt panels that are sitting at a 30-degree pitch, which is ideal for where we're located. So what we would do is, there's a thing called net metering, and I'm sure you guys have been explained that. We would start your net metering date at April. Okay, that's going to be your start date. We don't really want to do it in January because, you know, we're not going to be able to build any bank. You're going to have a larger bill. So if we started the January 1, you're always going to have a bill because you're never going to probably get to what you need to be. So when we start in April, you're gonna overproduce. That's gonna be, if you look at the back page of your bill, you have a 3-phase transmissional fee, that's $45. And then you also have a basic service charge with a little bit of tax at 6%, and then a state tax at 1%. So it's roughly gonna be anywhere from 70 to 80 bucks is what that bill would be right here. Okay? And that's just because you're connected to Alliant. Now, you wouldn't have a bill, but you go, sorry,
You won't have a bill, you'll have a $60 bill in April through October.
so rather than an average, you know, of you're almost $5,000 the last 12 months, you've been as high as 6,300, you've been as low as 3,700. So your average is around 4,900. Now you're gonna be, you know, your new average will be about 494. Okay, which that adds up over time. You know, you get just to the 5-year mark, you're talking, you know, quite a bit of money just on your electrical savings alone. So, you know, we're projecting a 5% annual increase. Alliant has went up 20% since October of 2024, went up 11.1 that year, and then this last fall, which you'll see it this summer, it went up another 8.9. So, you know, and you know, if I'm a betting man, betting on the market, it's probably not going down. It's probably not going to stay the same. You're always going to pay more, and you're going to, honestly, if you add more infrastructure, you're going to use more, and some of your appliance and transformers and everything that's pulling that energy gets outdated, so it has to work harder. So you're just always going to use more as time goes on, and it's only going to get more expensive. I don't know how deep in the weeds you want me to go here.
What do you guys think? Let's take your pulse. Is that, are you following everything we're saying in agreement with?
Makes sense.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so you know that's kind of how it looks on the surface. If you would buy it outright, right? That's your, you know, before we get into. There's one thing we had to do with Alliant. We got them to open up their CT cabinet to make sure they actually have a lock on your CT. We had to request, and with the 24 hours, we weren't able to get it open. So, but you have a large CT cabinet. It's 50-50 on whether that would have to be replaced. So I don't really want to give you like hard numbers. If you were going to buy a system of this size, you're looking at probably in the range, if Mud's okay with me saying it, 400K to 420, depending on the electrical upgrades that you would need if you were going to buy it outright. Now, if we got into a PPA, which I'll allow him to explain that a little bit more because he's the boss and he'll be buying the stuff more than likely, or we'll have an investor come in. A PPA would be, you know, you guys are spending in the summer 21 cents a kilowatt hour, okay? But in the winter you're paying about 16. But the average is 18.5, which you can see on that if you take those last 12 months. All you got to do is take the dollar amount divided by the usage, and that gives you 18.5 cents. Now we can come in and we can install this and charge you, let's call it 13 or 13.5 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay, you're still connected to Alliant, but you're paying, you know, 30 to 25% less on your overhead, and it didn't cost you anything out of pocket. So that's the beauty of it, and that is usually, you know, you guys probably have an in-house legal counsel, I'm sure, that you work with as a city. We do too, and those two would be talking about the contract as far as that goes. I'm sure there'd be some redlining or things that they would want added in. But, you know, on the surface, you know, that's going to save you a lot in overhead. I think we added it up. If we were able to offset all their electricity, you guys would save $18,000 a year that first year on that, you know, just by allowing us to kind of be your new utility. Yeah, if you buy it outright, you're going to save year one just on this one. That's not even offsetting everything. You're going to save 53 grand on your electrical. Now I know there's an upfront cost to that, which some municipalities don't necessarily have something in the $400,000 range to budget just like that. But there is that PPA option that we would be, and I think willing and happy to partner with you guys on if that's something you'd want to do. And you know, I think we would be the investors, and you would pay Midwest Solar Installers. So if something would break down, we would be super motivated. I know Mud would be super motivated to, because we only get paid for the production. So you're really not out anything because you're connected to Alliant. So you just pay your Alliant bill as normal if something would go wrong. But we have a lot of confidence. You know, we're over 500 installs. So I know Mud said we're a small company, but we pack a big punch. and all we do is service Iowa. We're based out of Waterloo, like he said, and you know, he's from Cedar Falls, I'm from Cedar Falls, and yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I know we don't want to go too long because you guys got other business, but
How big a system again were you looking at?
so right now you're limited. So we gotta have a ratio of anywhere from 1.3 to 1.4. So we got a 207 DC side, 207.38, I believe, 207.68. So on the DC side, then we got 150 kilowatts of inverter. So it's kind of like a car getting on the, you know, you got to rev up to 70 and hit cruise control. So when the sun starts rising in the east, that 207 is going to get that 150 all the way to the top end, and then you want that top end to maintain. Okay, so you don't want to build it too small on the DC side because then you get all this tapering, and you don't want to build it too big because then it's just not, it's a waste of money, and it's not a good ratio.
The ratio holds the inverters. The inverters are the piece of this puzzle that will break. If there's anything that's going to break, it's going to be an inverter. And so if we size it right so that we can keep that inverter running all the time instead of going up and down, it will last longer. Now it's warranted for, I think it's warranted for 12 years. I think this inverter is.
Yep.
So we don't have any issues with performance, and so they've been great companies to work with. Every time we've ever had an issue, we've never had an issue. But one thing TJ says a lot, you know, TJ was the national coach of the year at Loras College, and so there aren't very many national coaches of the year. And so when I think about being a national coach of the year, you got to be a special person to do that. And I think that people that can do that, they make it happen. They get the job done. They follow up. You know, when something goes sideways, the national coach of the year is there right now. And it's not a 30-day, 45-day window to get some service. But it's if we own the system, we're going to want to make sure that thing is working all the time because it's an investment that we would make, and we would want it to produce. We want them all to produce, but when you've got skin in the game, things change a little bit, and so that's the way we would propose doing it. If you wanted to buy it, we're happy to sell it to you that way. If you want to do a PPA, we can do that as well.
And this was a little screwed up because we had some presumptions before we actually did a site assessment. So I actually built it to a larger scale, but just know that you guys can only go 207 on the DC and 150 on the kilowatt for the inverter size. But that'll give you at least an idea if you would upgrade your transformer situation to a 250 or higher, that we could provide that for you. And then here's just a Fredsville. It's not too far north of here. Yep. And you know, we made them a public link. We could do this for you guys if you wanted, to where you can monitor your system. You could see it live, if that's what you want to do. It's just a good option to have. But yeah, some people ask that. How do we know if it's working? Well, you can have this right on your iPhone, a Galaxy, or whatever smartphone you have. So, and it's probably got a 5-minute delay, so it's pretty good technology. So I just thought I would throw that in there at the end. And I know is it Miss Baldwin? I know she's ready to rip my head off if I go another minute. So we got a lot to talk about, right, with the library.
That's right.
That's right.
But you know, the size of this project is not a problem for us. We just finished one at Bassard Manufacturing in Cedar Falls. It was a 577 kW system, all roof mounted. Now it took us about a month to build it. This would take us most likely 3 weeks to a month to build as well. You know, we'll pound the posts and hang the modules in probably 2 weeks, and then we'll have 2 weeks of electrical. And it's really a cut and dry project, being that we're so close to that transformer. You know, you're really fortunate that you can put an array as close to that transformer as it is. I mean, you know, boring and running wire is expensive, so it really helps with the cost.
Weather permitting, they would have the mods and everything set in one day, and then it would probably be another 2 to 3 weeks before they did the electrical.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take them that long. They'll put it up quick.
You guys have any clarifying questions or anything at all that you're that you want to check Scott on?
Anybody?
On the purchase agreement, you mentioned 13 cents versus 18.5.
18 and a
So
half.
is 18, is Alliance rate kind of the base, so base minus 5 cents, is that kind of how it goes? Like if they go to 20.5, we're gonna pay 15?
So we would go, so we would do start at, like, call it 13 and a half, we'd start out there, the next year would be 13.9, and we would add a 3% escalator. Because if we're investing that money, we'd have to get our money back
Okay.
at some point. But, yeah, like if Alliant goes up 20%, that doesn't, you're probably high-fiving everybody in here because you guys made a really
Yeah.
good decision. So,
Okay.
you know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to lower your overhead. So you're gonna stay here at this PPA going up 3 at a lower rate, which is what you paid maybe over a decade ago. And then, you know, Alliance just gonna keep increasing that gap.
So there's gonna be, the gap is likely to grow.
It's gonna get really, really big.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
at that location, this is pretty much maxing what we can put in
Today.
there.
Today.
Based on the transformer you have, yeah, you've got 150 KVA.
Okay, so if it had more capacity, could we put more in the system to basically pay for our whole city? Could basically we're double of that for the rest of the city, the lights.
For
and,
sure.
You know, that jazz.
So there's legislation that could approve that
Okay,
with the
so
community
that-
solar,
It's
that they could
not
be
there
coming
yet,
up. It's
though.
not there yet, but you do have the land to do that. So you could add on to that to where
And when I said city, I'm talking city-owned property.
everything,
Yeah.
you could do everything.
So it's not like we're selling it to the citizens, it's just
Exactly.
No, all of your
Well, you could
city hall-
offset you could offset this building,
Right.
you could offset the
Exactly.
firehouse,
Yeah.
and hopefully if this bill passes, I think it would be great for Iowa, the community solar, where we could build an array off-site and offset multiple meters.
Oh, okay, so it's associated by meter.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's what we're looking for.
It'll all
Looking
feed
for
into
meters
one
offset.
meter, but it would credit all the meters that you own.
Yeah,
Okay, that's the community part.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So I think that could be good. We'll see what happens, but we're excited about solar moving forward. You know, the country needs energy in a bad way, and solar is the fastest and the cheapest form of energy to install. So I think it's if you listen to Elon Musk says our whole country will be run by solar in 20 years. Now who knows, but we're excited about the future and looking forward to working with you folks if you decide you want to do something.
How many panels were you talking?
I think there's 560 modules.
560 modules.
Yeah.
I can tell you here in one second.
Maybe
And then
552.
we don't gotta be stuck on that 4-row design. We could do 2 longer rows, just so we're going less deep into that field. If that's something you wanted to do, I just kinda dragged it over after we got to the site.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can adjust this however.
Might
Yeah.
make more sense to have 3 rows and an inverter for each row.
Yep, 3 rows,
You know,
352.
isolating issues is one thing that we like to do is just know where every issue is so that you can fix it when it comes up. But, you know, there's always an issue, and it doesn't matter who puts it in. There's always an issue with the equipment, and so I think it's important that you work with. In First Solar, those guys are great. They're good people, and so I think there are a lot of good solar companies in Iowa that I think would take care of it.
Why didn't you go on the grass? You moved it further west. What was the reasoning for that?
550 feet of 4-inch wire, and bringing that DC.
The connection point is further west
Yeah.
than, okay.
Yeah, bringing
yeah,
that
connection point.
DC. DC's pretty unstable. Everything runs on AC, including our power lines. So you kinda don't want DC running around as you want it to be as short as possible.
So that's a shorter distance by putting it west.
A lot
Yes.
shorter.
Got
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna send this to city clerk. Okay.
Well, guys, we appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. So thank you, and
Appreciate you guys coming in.
yeah, you bet.
Definitely helpful for us to have a little information, put some faces to some emails.
Yeah.
This price could.
Well, if there's anything, we'll send you this design, and we'll send you the design with the 207, and go from there. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll follow up. You know, follow up's the most important part of sales, and so count on a follow up. But we appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much.
You bet, you guys
It was great meeting you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Good to see you.
Alright, Doug.
Alright.
Thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks for meeting us.
Hey, thank you.
And, I sent Wendy the
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
So if you guys,
You're
my
great.
email and phone number's right on there, if you got any questions about the
Not
technical
worried
side.
about it. Just representation.
Thanks,
CJ.
Hey, good luck with your game tonight.
Hey, thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
What?
Oh, there it is. Looking for my
Yeah,
backpack.
the bag's right there.
Nice meeting you.
Well, while we have open forum, hi Jody,
Hi, Jody. You're up.
you're up.
Oh, for parks? I'm here for parks,
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, park budget,
excellent,
so I'm not really open for them.
okay,
Well, and I
Unless you
know
want me to say.
library committed first, so I think they
Yep.
should go first.
alright, let me find out where we're at first.
Open forum's closed.
Open forum's closed. On budget planning. Yay. So, libraries first, is that what I heard?
Yep.
Alright. I don't know.
My board apologizes, they had somebody lined up and, she ended up not feeling well today, so
It is that time of year.
it very much is.
Is.
And we just here just kind of, if you guys have any questions anyway, so.
Okay. We'll start with the state grants for the library, expecting any of those. So, not expecting any.
We don't know what the state, or county will give us just yet. Those numbers come out here pretty soon, they stay pretty much what they usually are each year. They kind of fluctuate a little bit, as you can see, but.
Anybody have any problems with 1505?
Well, is that, no, that's grant though versus,
Oh, it's,
cause you're talking county, right? County money?
We don't,
there's two different
there's
sections.
two different
There's a county-
sections there and we don't have any control over what,
Yeah. I just didn't know.
what we get from those.
Didn't know if that source is
I believe that's state library. And then we have the county library fund, where we budgeted 17,000. And did we discuss that the other day? Was it twice a year that gets paid? Wendy?
Let me pull it up.
That would
It should
make
be the one
sense.
that's divided into two.
26,000.
Was it the county or state that you asked?
I
Sorry.
don't understand why we budgeted 17, the county library contributions.
County.
Yeah.
seems low, doesn't it? Yeah. Could we get another 13 is what you're saying?
Yeah, we should.
Should.
Should be another 13,000, which would be 26, which would be on par with 23, 24,000. Budgeted 17 last year for some reason.
Well, I don't know if we took a hit last year or not, I can't remember what the.
This year budgeted 1,000, 392 a year ago. $842 times 95.
We don't. We had one of the board members looking into kind of what's going on in the in the world of salaries as far as libraries go. But we based that one just as if it were my salary, based on if I were the only one working, to make sure that we have that covered, so that helps us with upping my assistants and things like that to keep up with changing costs and cost of living.
Oh, you're not on the main revenue and expense?
Go back up. You're over here, right? Expenses. It's supposed to transmit over. Do all this.
There, that's what we did, what we did.
21,630.
Parker.
Numbers on the screen.
We're close. You're starting to set us with
But it's okay, I'm only here to just kind of, if you guys have some questions, and I know that we've kind of got it a little different this year. What's that? Oh, maybe.
See, I thought that's what we did, was we were supposed to be populating the individual departments and the auto populates over there.
I asked Wendy for salaries year to date for everybody. And we're 2/3 of the way through the year, and she gave me through February. So I took that times 1.5, and what we had on fiscal year 25 for salaries was 15,000. So far this year, prorated for the other third of the year that's there, will be less than that, will be 13,800 something. And that's
For the library?
for the library, librarians.
Okay. I don't necessarily know the backwards until, I mean, granted, 25 was what, 14
We just had raises as well. Yeah.
I would say stay 21.6, then if we got something we can look at every year, closer. Last year,
So that was gonna change when we go to Hudson.
possibly. Whatever that is.
fundraising and something else. Biblionics.
So this is what you guys are asking for, these are your numbers that you put in?
Yes, sir, that is what the board put in.
So go back up to the benefits there. Isn't that on a different line item now? Didn't that all get moved to a different?
See, you got
Yeah.
one there, so can you just bring it down?
Isn't it just like getting papers, isn't that come out of a different line item now? So it should
We don't have
be in
those,
there.
we don't put those in, so those come from city stuff, we don't
This
enter
is,
those.
this is from the last, this is still the old spreadsheet, so it doesn't matter. I'm sure that condition will change.
Yeah, cause I just don't wanna have it here and then in the other place, cause then that's, you know, $4,500 that we got twice.
Alright, so library is asking for $4,500 technology services. Concerned about that? We're also adding 4,000 technology.
Materials.
Sorry.
Yes, sir, we have to, we're pretty much gutting our, young adult and youth sections because they're not kept out office. We need to upgrade what we're buying. Nobody wants to read about, I guess, vampires anymore.
That's $0.
Nope. And we try to weed, every 5 years is our weeding system. That's what the state requires is, 3 to 5 years, so that's great.
With the replace the 2 computers,
We're hoping to. We want to update our 2 adult computers, hopefully to a system that does not have the modems, like an all-in-one kind of system so that there's less taking up space, but we haven't updated since 2019 on those computers, so one way or the other they need a hefty update.
That's an email.
My packet.
Yes.
That was nice.
It's something to do.
Trickery.
Is there any questions about library?
Phones over there, is that a landline or?
We have a landline and then, we have, Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, and we have individual Wi-Fi, for the building. And then we share that actually, the Wi-Fi is shared with both buildings.
You guys have hotspots for running?
We have a couple of hotspots, but those are provided to us through the, county on a grant right now. That's the only reason we have them. We've never had public really ever ask for them. Necessarily, we've had a couple of them go out, but, it's not something that, I mean, if it was something like a deal where we got it, maybe, but it's too expensive to just sit on having it paid for nobody. So with the county, and the county's got a grant for all those 13 libraries, which are happening.
Yes.
Correct.
That's, I ended up getting one from Polo for, and they went for a student up there at school. So Polo had one, so I got it.
We've had ambulance them for situations like that, the couple that we have, so. All like I said, all the 13 libraries that way, so. It was great. I think we got the grant to extend through this fall. And then we don't know. We'll just keep applying.
Do you know the average usage
Of the internet? No. I wish that we had a way to kind of watch the, like, the public Wi-Fi usage, just to see, but, I mean, I know it's getting used all the time. I mean, when I come out and there's summertime, there's people sitting out back, so we have a nice seating. We have people parked out front. I think Wendy's come in before and there's been cars parked out. I mean, it's like 5 in the morning. But people are using the public Wi-Fi, so. Yep, well, we have to go to it sometimes too, because the internet is not that great. We actually have one of the hotspots we use for the TV in there when we need programming, because the internet just doesn't wanna provide. Yep.
You're up.
What we come up with for first, first, I found out today we are Tree City third year. Second. And not so much fun, I don't believe there's a community forestry grant huge tree planting right. There is an urban forestry grant, but that's the one that's tied to the integrated roadside vegetation management plan. And I was checking on that, and the DOT doesn't have us listed. We sent that in last summer, fall, and so I need to call and find out. Well, I did too, but they have a list of the communities and we weren't on it, and we don't even know why is that? Because that opens us up for the urban forestry grant. It is not just trees, it's equipment and just a lot of things that we can get, otherwise no match on most of it, so that's a wonderful thing. But I think we have to have that roadside vegetation management plan. They want you to have an urban forestry plan, which is, I don't know how that differs from our tree plan, so I have to see if I can figure that out. But we did not mess with anything on personnel. So that's, I suppose, whatever standard. And the easiest way for me was to do it by jump numbers. And so, for 430-6310, I had $2,000. That's building repair, and that is for whatever we might have to do. I did get the application in for the Paint Iowa Beautiful grant for the concession stand down at Legion Park. But that requires, they only pay at the most, I think, half. And so I asked for 10 gallons of paint. So we'll see what that is. And then,
is that the Fulton County shed that's included in that? The building maintenance repair parts?
and then 6320 is grounds maintenance. And that is pea gravel and sand for the playgrounds. And they're kind of in bad shape. And so we wanted to see that that got done. 6310, oh, that's the stand extension.
How much for 63?
I didn't have a figure because I don't have a number for pea gravel and sand.
Probably need some extra because we didn't have enough for the merry-go-round.
Right, that's what I was, that's part of what we're working on, that pea gravel, and then where the little kids sand thing is, and maybe some curb or whatever it takes to hold that sand in.
$2,000? Yeah, couple loads of gravel and dump truck, must be
$64.90 professional services. Snyder gave me, I had Wendy asked for a trailhead down at Union Creek where it comes across the bridge, a trailhead on the north side of the Hard Adventure Trail, 3 cars. I assumed rock finish to start, so it'd be grading, moving the trees and rocking it. They guess 6,000 to 7,000. If you want to pave it, it's 12,000 to 14,000. So they guess at that. And I guess I don't offhand, if you put a curb or something to hold the rock in, I thought that was okay to start that way and see how it works. And then I thought about calculating the sand and pea gravel, and I have no idea how Snyder charges when we ask them to do a design like that, or if we get, grant money for design. We learned about that in community vision. Um, and I haven't done that, so I've got professional services paid. Oh, 63, and also changing the fence at the dog park. I kind of wanted to get the dog park thing done. And so I was guessing maybe $1,000, but I don't know. It's new fence from where the old entrance is to Baldwin, hoping to reuse some of the fence for the gate off of Baldwin. And I don't know if you remember what that looked like. We were hoping for a gate off of Baldwin so people park along the street rather than driving into the park.
You mean Broad Street?
Yeah. What did I say? Baldwin. Broad Street. No wonder you'd be confused. Sorry. This golf grant has been applied for Prairie Meadows as a major grant, so we don't know how that'll work. Mark is earmarked $5,000 for the disc golf. Oh, this is in 6727. I put that in capital equipment. I don't know how I should put all this. They have a different slot for it. And I got maybe $5,000 toward the disc golf. 6727 would also be dog park equipment. $2,000 plus whatever donations. I think so far donations are up to about $8,000 for the dog park. Hopefully, the community is supporting it. But that's for the fencing, for 6310, I think. And then 2,000 for equipment. Also in 67. Oh no, that's kind of it for that. Then under trees, and I don't have well, that's parks. So that's all I messed with in parks.
So what's the disc golf thing?
Expanding it to 18 holes.
Okay, so.
And upgrading equipment and make it right now it pulls from a large area. This would make it eligible for tournaments and things.
Okay. So it's buying more, whatever they call them, nets.
Yeah.
And all that.
Baskets and tees, I guess.
Yeah. Joey, is there anything that needs repair?
Yeah, well, that's what the pea gravel and sand were, that's the only thing we worked on for that.
I have one more for you.
Okay.
The bridge.
Oh, yeah.
The large wood
The
bridge.
large wood bridge.
Not the narrow one. Well, the narrow one probably getting close to, but,
Yeah, I can't get my bike on the little bridge. That's because I drive a tricycle.
I thought
We talked about that at the meeting.
I thought we put some money away for that, or we were thinking about putting some money away for that.
We did, like 7,000.
Where did I put it? Oh, 6,000. We anticipate 6,000. There's the primer.
And that's just to replace the decking?
Yeah.
When we talked about people buying a board.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a fun idea. Sure.
Cut some like burn on it, name or whatever.
Yeah.
So, where'd that go? Library.
As long as it's off the side so it doesn't mess with the
Right.
travel way.
Or maybe even on the edge.
Oh, yeah,
When there's not water flowing, you can see it.
yeah.
Alright. We put for utilities. Sorry.
Pizza.
Right. We're at 5,400, we budgeted 32. make any sense.
62?
Seems like a better number than what we picked last time.
27 the year before, the 5 is the outlier.
Well,
So
what
you
we
got
spent,
27,
we
and
spent
then you-
5,400 this
then
year.
you doubled it.
54 this year, yeah, that
I
doesn't
think we
fit at
really
all.
just need to take a look at those meters and make sure we've got them assigned to the right.
Yeah, that's part of it.
I mean, I think we're good in total, it's just we've got them in wrong places, but,
Yeah,
but I think it's worthy.
We're gonna call it that for now.
Yeah, I think that's wise. If, looks like 2 years running, that's right.
Jody, did you have anything else for us?
Yes, trees, being a tree city, we have to spend $2,000 a year based on our population, but that's under the new tree program, so it's not really under parks. And,
Yeah, we rechanged our, we put it all in one place.
6888.
what is it?
Well, it says on this piece of paper. No, that's cemetery, I'm sorry.
Give me the first,
Oh.
give me the first 6 numbers first.
01999.
Capital equipment trees,
Yeah,
or parks total,
trees total.
trees total, right there, 5,000. What we budgeted.
Well, that'd be up there in the grounds repair and maintenance.
This should be moved to be consolidated to 305-210-6499. Parks requesting 600. Plant tree replacement for legacy tree, number 24 Arbor Day, that would fail.
Yes,
Okay, so 600
we have,
plus.
well, yeah, the $2,000 could go toward replacement of, we have, I think 4 at the park, city park, and 1 at the cemetery, so one, I, said $500 out of cemetery to replace that tree. All this'll still count in our, toward our tree city obligation, no matter whether we put
Are
it in.
those warranted for a period of time or beyond the warranty time?
They some of them, yeah, 3 of them. Yeah, one of them we replaced, they replaced at least twice. The one that there was a big oak next to the, basketball court, if you remember. That has been replaced at least twice. So I think we need to put a tree someplace else.
Yeah, it sounds like it
There's
just
something
needs to be
wrong with that spot, so, well, I mean, it'd be nice to have something to shade the court, but it can't be right at that spot, cause it just won't live. And I think we lost a, sycamore, or a plane tree, and, a bald cypress. Oh, and then somebody ran over, which is not Country Landscapes' fault, ran over one of the evergreens that we planted just last year.
Of course.
And so, well, you know, that one, that's a tough call for me. There were trees all over the place and I don't know how they got all the way on the north line, and ran over it, so.
What does Tree City get us, just as a designation?
It gets us eligible for trees, like it was the Community Forestry Grant, Arbor Day Foundation. We can get less expensive trees, but they're small, when they come, kinda like you get from the State Forest Nursery. People don't like to see those. So, we spend anywhere from $350 to close to $500 for a tree. Mulching, in the past for our grants, the mulch and helping with the tree spade and helping plant the trees has all been included in that.
I guess where I'm going, guys, is you got enough trees in town. I don't see any reason to get any more. Just something else to mow around.
That's a terrible plan.
We were hoping to get a grant for the southeast part of town, so. But unless they offer something, and there is
So you don't want any trees?
not new ones. There's no reason to add more. There wasn't trees here to begin with. It was all prairie, so I think we got enough
Well,
trees in town.
Right here, there would have been forest, but
But I think there's enough to move around, mow around. If we don't need more trees to cut down later.
Is everybody else saying the same?
I think with budgets being tight, it's a lower priority in my book.
I'm saying that enough trees, we've got plenty.
Well, we're gonna be a wonderful looking town with no trees and no sidewalks. This place.
Well,
will
I
be
think we
great.
got plenty that are growing up right now. I think that's a drastic statement to say we have none.
Well, we've taken out 250 trees in the last 3 years.
Looks nicer.
Does it?
Yep.
I can tell my electric bill and my water bill and everything else has went up because now we are processing all the water rather than feeding the trees.
I'd say that the trees take up a lot of the water runoff that we have right now. That's the good thing about the trees.
Alright, so there's the 25,000 other contractual services. That is the consolidated all tree accounts here. Parks is requesting additional 2,000. Can we include that 2,000 in the 25 we've already accommodated for? So we have 25,000 allocated for tree removal. Can we, anybody have any problems with taking 2,000 of that and utilizing it for tree planting?
yeah, I think that'd be fun.
No.
Okay, so it's the same pot. So if we run into a tree that we can't take down or vice versa, then that's what we'll have to deal with. Sorry, it took me so long to find that section.
That's okay.
Clear at the bottom. Okay. Anything else, Jody?
Didn't know if I find other grants, there's always the possibility I need matching money. But, I can certainly, I guess the way to approach that would be, if I find a grant, ask you, this will require probably a matching amount of money if we wanna do whatever the project is. And I don't know how you, I think in the past, sometimes you've gotten it out of community betterment.
What I've seen so far from the council is that the council has always supported free funds.
Yeah.
So if there's some minimal matching required to make a grant happen, then I don't think the council's going to balk at that too much.
Okay.
Everybody else in agreement?
You
Any other
mentioned
questions?
something early on about we're getting like 8,000 in donation.
The dog park has.
Yeah. Okay, could we have that in revenue somewhere?
No,
Where
that's
does that go?
held.
It's outside.
It's
Yeah.
outside, it
the city.
doesn't flow through.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Jody. Unless you have anything else.
And, let's see, we got our certification, don't know about that grant. Oh, there'll be a little bit of money for probably, base, but maybe not, for the, flag retirement facility by the Veterans Memorial, but that, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say, the veterans organizations are probably it'll probably be
They'll
all
probably cover that.
recovered.
If it needs some help, they can let me know.
Did those lights and the brick and all that all get fixed, or is that?
I saw some of it got repaired to best of abilities.
The best of their abilities, the cap was placed back on, but the broken part is to the rear, so you don't see it. I don't think the lights have got fixed yet and replaced.
So,
It's,
kind of.
it turned winter.
A lot of those services are volunteer based.
But is that something that we're gonna be able to fix with this year's budget, or are we gonna need to budget for that stuff?
I think part of what I heard was that we can't match the material again. Those materials were sourced and aren't matchable today, so whatever we do is it's not gonna match, so it might require considerably bigger replacement.
Removing the caps off of the other ones to replace, so everything matches again. So, yeah, there could be, and then, there could be money coming from a couple of, Legion suppers, or, I mean, it's something we could talk to Legion about too. But as far as the city goes, yeah, there's a lot of repair to do down there.
I think we could allocate it, we just need to define where we wanna spend and what we're going to spend.
And get good numbers.
Have some better estimates, would be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I had spoken, and I think I put in my last report about the lantern posts.
That's nice.
And they cost about, not quite $300 each.
Plus electricity, or are they sold?
No, all this is it's
just
like
a-
a plant hanger,
Okay.
except,
So they're not
and
electric
people would
then?
bring
They
their
make
own,
lanterns.
people
Okay.
bring their own lanterns.
Gotcha, they bring their own.
They
Alright.
kept it primitive for the primitive campsite,
Alright.
for the Boy Scouts.
I thought that was a good deal, so, that's, I guess, another thing in, equipment.
And how many of those?
Two of them, well, the estimate I got was for two, which would hold 4 lanterns.
Did I hear
So was 45 the total?
operational equipment repair?
Is that what, would that cover that?
It was going to be under,
That would be something new.
put it under capital equipment, I guess. Some of those, I put where I thought things would be paid out of. I don't know that that's official.
Where's that?
Last one.
Capital equipment.
6727.
Oh.
Oh,
Or
Not
that-
savings,
Well, no,
not
you-
67.99.
okay.
We'll put it there. So this would actually be,
So-
how much is the backhoe? Is it 4,500? So this would be 9,500? Okay.
Joe, do you rather talk about lights down the pathways at the park or anything at any other meetings?
We haven't at the meetings, no. I mean, I thought about it and I think it'd be wonderful, but, yeah, I don't know. I've never thought about trying to make it a project and get estimates. That'd be wonderful. I think it'd be beautiful, but unless they were solar, that's a lot of wiring.
Have to take the trees down.
Yeah, there is that.
1,200 for weeds. $5,000 for pickleball.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
I don't really think
That,
pickleball court for 5,000.
that includes the lanterns. I think there was a repurposing of the basketball court. Isn't that what the pickleball was gonna be? For consideration? Keep the basketball, have a movable.
Oh, I think maybe there was something like that, yeah. That'd be fun. I mean, people, that's kind of the rage now, and if you can do it in a place that's either already there, or, it can convert back and forth. I don't know what the loss would be. 'Cause it's good entertainment.
I do got a question. What's the plan again with the dog park expansion? I mean, how big a dog park is it that we're looking at?
I think it was just more of a,
No, it's not an expansion.
over the fence.
It's, okay, you have the rectangle of the dog park, right?
Yep.
and the entrance is on the east side
Right.
with a double gate.
Uh-huh.
People, seems like especially in bad weather, pull right up to that gate, so they're going through the park between the trail and the dog park. And they park there and it just wrecks it, and then they also tend to drive around the fence and go north and then west out. And so the thinking was, if we would take that double entrance and take the fence all the way to Broad Street and put the gate down there, people wouldn't,
Okay.
they'd park on the street if they
Okay.
wanna be that close to the gate
Thank you
opening.
for explaining that.
It's kind of a silly thing to have to do,
Yeah.
but it seemed like a pretty
We're trying to keep
easy
people out of
fix.
driving through the park.
Right.
Or a telephone pole laying there would also keep it from driving through.
They could, they could. I put trees in part of the way, so far nobody's run over them, so.
Wait for them all.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you.
And if you have any other ideas you'd like to see, priorities.
Where are you guys at with your signs? Posted signs for the permanent signage on the trail? You got the temporaries up.
Well, we have the ones that come off and on, yeah. We haven't discussed any more signage than that. I'm pretty sure they put, well, I know they did, they put up the restroom closed
I've seen
signs.
those.
And, I think that's been a wonderful gift for people. And then we'll take those down. Did you have other signs you wanted up? I know at one time we had talked about nice ones that say, to pay this way, and we do have the, it'd be nice to get a grant to put up the, repair station.
Yep.
And it'd be nice to, I've seen, there's, up at Wheatsfield Grocery, there's a repair station, bike repair station. We talked about having it over at the co-op, talking to them. Also, somebody suggested talking to, Trevor and putting it there, cause it's even closer and maybe more exposed. But coupling that with a, water fountain for people, dogs, and bottle filling. And so just put it all in one spot and then make sure people know that. I think that's a great amenity. But that's, to me, is kinda like grant, area, if we can. It'd be great to just build it. And I haven't found a way to use, we have the integrated roadside vegetation management plan. Any money there has to be used along roads. The only part of the bike trail is along the prairie, and then, right down here by Main Street, that's really eligible for a big project. Otherwise, it's mainly meant for, so they don't have to mow the ditches and things like that. Somebody did suggest doing it, north out of town in the ditch next to the cemetery. I think that would be wonderful. I can't imagine anyone wanting to see a prairie there, because cemeteries, they already don't like what they see down at the real prairie.
They want it mowed.
Yeah, and so I haven't really pushed that very far. And I did plant, I think I told you, Lowe's had, arborvitae, the green cemetery trees, basically. $7 each at the end of the season, and I'm a plant rescuer, so I bought them to put in the cemetery entrances, and thinking to move those planters that I can't keep plants alive in. But I don't wanna move the planters yet, because the trees are only this high. And so, until they get big enough to defend themselves, I let the planters just left. And if I tried planting succulents, which grew well. I think they're pretty, got a lot of complaints, because they aren't flowers. And flowers are just really hard to keep in those planters, so. If you have a better idea, you can let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Wendy, did I bother you?
Yeah.
You said our local government property valuation system needs to be submitted by March 5th.
March 5th.
What is it specifically on here that we are missing?
I just need to know is the FICA and IFRS accurate?
So we need to do employees and salaries.
And then this is for the max that you guys were at last year, the 820, so I didn't change anything. So let me know if it needs lower.
Okay. Probably should go through the allocations first. It helps identify who gets paid from what and where. We talked a little bit with finance committee the other day in regards to sewer allocation, or the amount of time spent with the sewer is probably not all of that much.
I think Carrie's time.
Carrie's
because
fine.
with the whole billing, that's probably reasonable. So.
Yep.
Although I think some of that goes to garbage, but it's a small amount compared to this. It's probably not worth the.
I believe Wendy's good to being, as a city clerk, still responsible for the rest of the measures and things that take place.
And oversight.
Uh,
The handbook says the timesheets are supposed to have noting whether or not, what they did. Do they? No. I mean, it's for budgeting purposes is what we need it for,
Yep.
so.
we're expected to go to the cloud version of, is it November, Wendy?
Hopefully this spring after budget season. I told him not until after budget is over.
If we go to the cloud version of the city, that allows to have, well, they can do their components. So they can put a note in, this was
Start having a desk record to really do the allocation. Yeah, when I spoke to Wes, he's thinking, yeah, there's samples and then to maintain the lights, and that's about the extent of it, so. I think Tony could speak to that obviously better, but it seems what he was saying, yeah. I don't know if water takes anything much different. I bet you guys can probably speak to that. I don't know what it takes other than sampling, but.
I know they spend a lot of time, the filter is like a day a week, checking and making sure that the tower's full. All the water mains, because those are the only ones that break, seems to just take a large percentage of Tony's. Just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Kind of flying blind.
Yeah.
Without it. Yeah.
Anybody else have any other thoughts or questions or concerns?
I mean, when I just look blindly at it, it just seems like it would probably be more general county, just administrative bit, but it seems like roads would be probably 20 or 30 and then bring the water down to that 30% maybe. Do 30, would that get us there? 30 and 30.
Maybe 40.
That's still short. Oh, okay.
That'd probably be closer to,
Maybe
Bump that up to
20.
20.
yeah. I would say that would be closer to 20.
You think
I think
water?
you're right, I think water, he spends a lot of time. on
Yeah,
water.
Does it?
yeah,
Okay.
a lot of testing down there, make sure that it meets all the standards.
That looks good.
Well, they have to
And
stand,
paperwork that goes with it probably.
they have to stand by they have to stand at the water plant the entire time that they're flushing, so.
Right.
Okay. That's why they've asked for a bathroom down there, is because
Yes.
they are not supposed to like leave there to go.
So
run to the bathroom.
they're already dropping like
Yes.
60,000 gallons of water doing that, so.
Yeah.
Scott, look good.
general then for Scott? I mean, what are we talking, is that the park? Is that, what's under general? Is it-
Everything, I think,
Everything-
Scott
anything
jumps on a
else.
mower,
Maintenance on the buildings,
Yeah.
buildings,
Oh, that's different, okay.
maintenance on mowers,
Vehicles.
trucks, whatever.
Basically, everything else gets funded out of general, so.
Okay.
Got the roads extra, that's snow plow and that ran into general, everything else is general.
Out of the general fund.
Alright. So, here we have, not sure. That's 2180, not 60.
should be 2080 for regular hours.
80 times 26, 2080.
That should be 2080 and 1040. And then 1040 for,
Was the 100 hours holidays? How many holidays do we have? 9? 8? Yeah, I think it's 9. That's 72 hours.
it might have been,
Yep. So, 20, 21,
because we got paying the hourly.
2160? That makes sense.
Well, every so many years there's an extra pay period.
That would be
Is
double. That's every 13 and a half. I'm not gonna worry about that.
So we changed Wendy
It's
back
13 and
too.
a half years for that to happen. This will cover the holiday, because that's double time. So the 21, or the 2080 would pick up the first half, and then the extra 100 hours would be the second half. So Scott is 60%.
Oh, that's, if you look over there in column O and P,
Yep.
26 pay periods, 27 pay periods. So if there's 26 pay periods, it's 2080, 27 pay periods is 2160. So that's where those hours come from.
Cause the holidays
not
would
the
already
holidays.
be in the 20.
Holidays are part of the hours already.
No, they're not. They're not figured in there. It would make more sense to add them in there so that when you actually know. And I don't know why we were using 27 pay periods, cause that like literally only happens 13 and a half years. Every 13 and a half years.
This year is gonna be a 27 pay period.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
That's probably why we had it in there that way.
Are you sure?
Positive.
She knows.
This year
When's-
being
when's
fis-
the-
fiscal year
It
20.
I don't think it's 13 and a half years. I think it happens more often than that.
It's like 4 or something like that, 4 something, yeah.
Because we had one not all that long ago and I wouldn't remember. it,
There's
but it's too long
27,
ago.
I just counted them.
What 3 months get 3 pay periods?
March, August.
Shouldn't be one in March. I don't think your calendar's right.
It ends on 3/2, 3/16, and 3/30 is when the pay period ends.
Yeah, but your paid day
Oh.
is 3/6,
Let's
3/20, so
see.
there's only 2 in March.
So April has 3.
April? Nope. Yeah, 3rd,
October.
17th. Nope, there's only 2 in April.
The pay period ends though. There's 3.
There may be 3 weeks in a pay period, but there's only 2
Okay.
pay periods in the month.
There's still 20. Oh, just kidding. I put, well, the last pay period is December to January, so.
What about
If it helps, you can go to the state of Iowa pay period calendar, cause that's the same thing we're on.
Okay.
I get paid the same time you guys do. It has all the, there's, I'm 99.9% certain there's 26 this month, or this year. But if we take the 2080 and then add in our 9 holidays of 72 hours, at least at that point we know that the double time's covered. In the budget.
2080 already includes the holidays.
2080 is the number of working days for single rate pay. Adding 72 hours gets the double pay factored in.
Double pay.
Yeah, it's just,
Gotcha.
Are all
Okay.
holidays double paid?
Gotcha.
Well, if they work, they work.
That, but at least I see where you're coming from there, so you're just doing the double pay thing.
it is 26 still.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Mark that on the calendar, you were right.
28.
it's first. It's first. 2080 plus is there 9 holidays, Wendy, just to verify?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9 this year.
Okay, so 2152.
This calendar year.
I'll put a note over here, 9 holidays at 72 hours. Anybody have any issues with that?
I was just thinking, do they, when they work on a holiday, is it like a couple hours?
Most of the time it is.
You're just budgeting the max?
I would rather budget the max.
Okay, yep. Plan for the max and.
And anything less is a
very
bonus.
cool, yep. Just maybe put that planning for the max and just, the basis for it.
I'm gonna take a stack and pass it.
I don't want one.
Alright, so 2080 times 0.60 is 1248. So minus Scott is 1620.
Isn't he 3/4
Well, it's
time?
3/4
It's 3/4 time. And that's
20
1560.
times
Done.
75, 1560.
Pass it on.
The whole
The
set?
whole thing. Yep, give that to Perry. Give that one to.
This includes the 9 holidays here too.
This has been turned in time for the agenda, so it can't be.
It's not voted on or actionable, but it does have a lot to do with budgeting.
I didn't have time to peruse it.
We had a tractor that died this week.
The John Deere did?
Yep.
It died?
The motor's sitting sideways and there's a hole in the radiator.
Okay. I won't ask anymore.
Well, so it would be 72, so 72 times 0.75 would be 54 for Scott. $1560 plus 54. 1614. Everybody good with that? And carries halftime. $36. 1,074. 1,076. Better math. Okay. Tony's rate, 34.66.
Is that correct?
For 2026, is that accurate, Wendy?
It is.
Cost of living. Inflation for 2025. 2.7. So So 3% gets them, keeps them 0.03% or 0.3% above going backwards in pay.
That was the 2026 number. 0.7.
No, that was 2025. I should probably.
For 2026, I got 2.8.
Good at 3.
Yeah.
Merits, it's been 2%. It was 2% last year.
Good with that.
$25.50.
25.50, that's what we just put her at. And I'd like to see that go up. Like if we do a flat increase to her to get her up to 30.
Wendy, do you have the deputy clerk numbers?
I do.
And then, by chance, do we have other city employee work numbers?
I can get them.
While we're waiting on that, underneath the ones that fire chief, mayor, and council, what are the extras column in there for?
Extra help for the parks?
No, down, like, under chiefs, mayor, and council.
Yep.
So you got $125 for the.
These are extra hours, so we bank 75 additional hours of overtime for Tony, Scott, and Wendy a year, so that we can make budget. That was what we did last year.
Okay.
We can adjust that, if anybody wanna do anything different on those hours. But it helps with meeting that budgetary number at the end.
I didn't know if that was like.
I can.
For, like, under the chief.
I
mayor,
sent you
council, I didn't know
Terry's.
if that was like.
I sent you the deputy.
If there were more meetings than just the 12.
So, you're talking for over here?
Yeah.
So the chief, let's go for it.
Oh.
Got small. The chief and the EMS, those are standard pay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't constitute that's not figured in here into what those costs are for their attendance.
Okay, I can see full-time people having the potential to need some extra hours, which would require overtime. But would a 3/4 time person have a need to get over 40 hours?
They can.
We got a water main leak.
Or
covering vacation.
Or extra mowing that needs done, or extra snow. I think it's not a lot, and there's not a lot of overage or even usage, for that matter.
I still don't understand why we went from a full-time employee down to a three-quarter employee. The workload hasn't decreased. In fact, we keep adding stuff to his plate.
After our full-time employee left, though, Tony said, we don't need any help through the whole winter. We hire somebody then next spring when the workload increases. So that was why it was less than full-time in my memory.
That's what I recall.
And here we are in the wintertime and when he's gone, so we gotta pay Scott to be here. So I mean, that's, I just
Oh,
think.
they're allowed vacation, sure, yeah.
I just think, we went from two full-time public works guys down to a 1 3/4. And like I said, the workload has not decreased, it's gotten more. We've increased the workload.
Well, they aren't reading meters like they used to. They used to have to make the rounds and read everybody's meters, so there's a little savings in the different things, I would think.
And then we wonder why, like, piles of rock doesn't get moved and why a fence
Yeah, I
doesn't get
wonder
put
that
in.
too.
Why a fence doesn't get put in at the dump site, and, well, because there's more workload that we tag on, but we don't allow them to work the overtime, so.
When do we have 2 full-time?
Chris Pitts and Tony.
Right, Chris.
But that was just for less than a year. Cause we didn't have 2 full-timers prior to that. Chris Pitts was here in fiscal year 22. We had, well, Paul was still helping some, but
Paul, I can tell you what happens is whatever a three-quarter time person doesn't pick up, Paul picks up double.
And
Paul gets three-quarter time when
there's gonna
Scott's not available.
there's gonna be a point where Paul's gonna be like, I'm done.
He's pretty close.
He's pretty close to it right now, so we need to start looking at moving back to a full-time position. And
so in that stack of paperwork that Wendy just sent out, there's mowers and number of hours on the mowers in there, and one of the mowers failed this week, and it's estimated to have 11,000 hours on that machine. So what we end up doing is we drive these mowers into the ground, into the dirt, to the point where they're not even serviceable as an exchange, and that was 11,000 hours of part-time work that was sitting on that mower. So, and I don't know, I think that mower was a 13, not very old. So the replacement cost of that was $53,000 to replace it with an equal mower. And then I also looked at throwing on a broom, because I can tell you I'm not gonna go blow off the bike trail again on my own. I need the city employees to have the equipment they need to do their job. So back to salary. We have Wendy, look up here, Wendy's has compiled this list of salaries of other clerks. Ranges in salaries are from 98,000 down to
The deputies are at the bottom.
lowest of, is that $25.60 an hour?
$25.50.
And
That'd be her.
yep, $25.50 for our clerk.
And that's the lowest.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember, but you sent it to me just recently. What was the advertised rate for the position that you're in? I want to say it was 64,000.
It was 41,600 to 66,560.
That means that we were at $32 an hour last budget season for that position, is what we had changed the rate of that position to.
That was what we advertised, yeah. that number?
Yep.
To me, my history is with school, and the most years you could bring in to a school state law is 5 years. So even though I may have taught 20 years, if I want to come to any other state school, I'm going to lose a ton of years when that happens.
But they
So-
also they have a set pay schedule,
Yeah.
and we don't have that.
And
The
we've
set
been-
pay schedule determines where they actually get placed in there.
And there's not one in existence. I did talk to the school about the business manager being maybe a comparable position or HR person. And I said, how do you, when you hire somebody, how does school district do it? And they said they just talk to their neighbors for one thing. And there is a state website that only schools can get to where you can research what the numbers are. But when I was looking at those numbers or hearing those numbers, the difference in my mind would be the experience they bring, and not that Wendy isn't getting there, but that.
I don't even think it's experience, it's her ability to do the job on a day-to-day basis already.
And she's doing a great job. I don't have any problem with that at all.
And that was our issue where we almost lost our last clerk before we lost her. Because we weren't paying them what we should have been paying them to begin with. And I'm not gonna continue to keep beating the mayor of this town and watch all of my clerks go through the same thing at the tears of these meetings because of what you guys put them through on a day-to-day basis and not pay them what they deserve to be paid. So, you guys can decide what it is that you wanna do, whether you wanna pay employees to hold the job, or whether you wanna keep finding new people to do the job for nothing. And then we will start having to answer to the state on why our audits are not passing or making anywhere close to
Well,
what
we
we
definitely don't wanna start hiring other people because then we're taking the time that they're gonna have to go back and do all the other training and pay for all that extra and everything.
And relearn.
She's done so many of that already, and it's taken on a lot, and provides a lot, and that's why 2 months ago, I said $30 an hour, and I still stick with that. That's,
And if you look at some of those up there that they're already making more than she does an hour, and I bet if you go on the other sheet that you have somewhere with the benefits,
They all have benefits.
they all have benefits, and we don't pay a stinking benefit.
Insurance offered, insurance offered, insurance offered.
And so when the opportunity comes up for one of those higher paying jobs with benefits,
You know, you have to look at benefits to see if those benefits are just full. If the city even pays anything, I don't know. You
oh,
can
like,
offer-
like Elkhart right there, they offer health insurance and the city pays 80% and the employee pays 20%.
Look at Colo.
That's better than what we're giving.
If you don't take their insurance, they put $1,000 into a 457 for you.
Mhm. So it's the cafeteria.
or you get a stipend.
Yeah.
Somewhere I thought I'd seen a $900 stipend.
That's right here. This is
Yeah, okay.
$1,000 stipend into a deferred
Yeah.
comp. Health, dental, vision, free single family membership, fitness center, 457 retirement account offered.
So if you think, if you think she's still worth
600.
only $25.50 an hour, then I say figure out how much money it would take to pay for insurance
For
and
insurance.
stuff, and make it up that way. If she doesn't, if people don't need the insurance, for instance, I have my own insurance through my company I used to work for, and Michelle doesn't take it out of the hospital. So, if that's the case too, then
Which I'd be okay with that, if we look
Right.
at insurance and say, okay, it's gonna cost us $1,000 a month to provide insurance for her. And she says, no, I don't want that, because I have insurance through my husband's
Right.
employment or whatever.
Exactly.
Then we put that $1,000 stipend
Mhm.
onto hers. I mean, we need to start offering benefits or we're gonna lose the longtime employees that we have and the trained employees we have.
I'll remind the council that the council in for fiscal 26 authorized $17,000 in training expense, of which we only spent about $6,000.
Okay.
So do we want to spend $17,000 a year after year, bringing somebody new in here? Because those are the costs that are not factored into an annual cost of an employee.
Right.
But they will be factored into the cost of an increase in budget costs, or asking for more money at the end of the year.
As a former union guy, you guys are really lucky, or we are lucky that they haven't gone union, or we'd be paying a lot more than what we are right now, and we'd be giving benefits, so.
Well, we don't wanna relive, again, the numbers that Wendy gave me, with the payout and deficit money and everything that happened in fiscal year 25, we were significantly higher than fiscal year 24. 24, to get everything done office-wise, we spent $184,000, and we were about $60,000 above that, so we definitely do not wanna redo those days.
That was helpful background for me, Dale, and I think that's what I was kinda asking for a few weeks ago. It's like, where were we at before?
Yep, it
And
was.
so I have no history of, like, we were getting ready
And I don't,
at that time.
I don't remember what the dollar was. I wanna say it was 8. Do you guys remember? What did we bump, Deb's pay to that year?
Oh, it was
It was like, it was an
Yeah,
$8
At
flat.
least 8.
I think we did a $8 flat to
Because-
get her up to where she was supposed to be.
Cause we were gonna lose it.
Yeah, for somebody with 16 years, I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
In our
But
last
we were so
discussion-
far behind.
Right, in our last discussion, and I'm looking at the fiscal year 26, we don't have that room without a budget amendment. So that's what I'm thinking about for 26. Now we're talking about a new fiscal year 27, this is the time to talk about this.
Yep.
And I think this is good, and that's why I was like, going, what is the history that led up to where we are here, so.
Right. Well, it was multiple years of pulling the data from all of the other surrounding communities and continually seeing how far we keep falling back and behind everybody else. And
Well, I'll just say on that one piece of paper there,
I mean, I've lost both clerks.
on that one piece of paper there,
No,
I know
that's
it's a
good.
name called Dee Gibbs.
Yep.
She's now working for
Cambridge.
Well,
Cambridge.
Yeah.
Used to work here.
I think there's also a bigger picture thing, I mean, talking salaries here, but we were talking, looking at comparables. Some reason we're at 13 per thousand, somehow Cambridge is managing 10. So where are they saving their money? Maybe it's because of our lagoons, it could be as simple as that type of thing, but that's a whole nother conversation about the whole budget, so.
so the other thing that I want to bring up is that Carrie is currently working part-time for the city of Cambridge, and she is making more over there
And she is here.
than she is here. And guess where my last deputy clerk went?
Yep.
So there's my number for right there. Which now I have to look at an office job versus a physical manual
Versus a
labor
laborer.
job. Now we're getting closer, probably.
And I don't
I
have.
rephrase that. Just because it's a physical labor job doesn't mean that it needs to get paid more than a person that's in the office who has such responsibility.
You're right.
And things
And
like that.
And that's, the issue is.
There's people that sit behind a desk that have more responsibility in this town than somebody who does drives the tractor,
You're
or
right.
drives the truck around.
That was a poor choice of words.
Yeah.
Yet again.
So I'm just,
But,
I don't mean to.
But not,
you're
but
right.
not demeaning the
But I
person that drives
did.
the truck around either.
So, but.
'Cause we need
it-
that, we need
Well,
that when it
but
needs
it's not just
done.
a truck, cause
Right.
Scott has all of the same water and sewer,
And they
or
got
he's
all-
working
right.
on all the same water and sewer certifications that Tony is working on, and he
Right.
is the assistant to
Yes.
the public works director, so that's why I'm trying to keep,
I know what
make
you're
sure.
saying, with all the certificates and stuff and training that Scott and Tony have done, they deserve, and we've paid them the $1 extra or whatever
Mhm.
to get it, but is that enough? $250, $250?
I know I went out trying to find, you know, like you talked about scales, but it's just, yeah. City stuff isn't, state employee is, but city, there's just not that window into that. Unless you go to some of these,
Yeah, you're not gonna find a scale in a small town,
well, you can't even really find.
not one
unless
that's
you
gonna be
go-
published.
Right,
That's the
exactly.
issue. That's
Yeah,
the
everything
issue.
I was finding was 2021 and back.
Yep.
Which is not good, so. But certainly we've gathered, do we see similar disparities in Tony and Scott's position, or do we know?
I don't know if we have all that data. I can tell you there is one piece of it. Here's your city clerk and public
Who's
works.
doing both?
They're doing both.
Yeah.
They're at 93,000.
So what I'm trying to reconcile is, when we were going down, it wasn't TIF, but we were doing what is it when we give the 5-year moratorium on paying property taxes? I mean, it was when this whole thing started up here. That's the question.
It is.
What do you call that when you, the property?
The abatement?
Yeah, property
What?
tax abatement.
Abatement, it was an abatement, 5 or 10 years. So the question was, back at that time, with this development, are we gonna have to have more resources? But you're giving up your revenue to pay for those resources. But at that time, I don't know that we had much more than one and then changed managing it. So what I'm trying to reconcile is, why is one and change managing the town in 2018-19? Why is it 2 and change now? If you count all the seasonal and everything. That's what I'm trying to reconcile in my head. When somebody said, no, I don't need any more, but now all of a sudden we need more. That's what I'm trying to reconcile, you know, based on experience. That's what I'm struggling with. What aren't we getting done with what we had with 1 and change? Now it takes 2 and change to get the same thing done. But I don't know if it's the same thing. But we don't know with the time sheets, because nobody's reporting what they're doing. So we have no way of measuring that. So that's why I struggle with some of the increases. Or actually, probably not the increases so much as the staffing.
Actually, I might actually have this.
In the corporate world, as you well know, when there's not money, you cut people. People do more with less. You find more productive ways to do it. But I don't think government looks that way.
They don't, and here's the other side of that, is those
Okay.
people leave, and the government, or that corporation loses their talent that they've invested so heavily in.
There is that. No, we can, yep, the brain drain.
Yep.
Yep. No.
And they go and work for a
It
company
is.
who can manage the budget.
Yeah. No, good argument, yeah. That's why we're having the dialogue, you know,
Yep.
just, it's like good, blindside chat, so.
Got M&Ms. Want an M&M?
No. Thanks. I shouldn't have this.
But I think that's But I think we're in the project, we're just getting that budget out there, and we can look for efficiencies later on, and, you know, hopefully that parlays in to a redeployment of capital or funds.
Anyway, I don't know. Others thoughts on, let's go back to form, I don't have anything else specifically. This number,
I think for an initial budget. Works.
okay, good with these numbers?
Anybody else?
You know, it was brought up to me about the difference in the lawnmower and the snow plower. We got 15 for people mowing and 20 for the plowers.
Yep.
Snow plows. They were just kind of curious about just making them same thing across the board. $20.
Can we afford it, is the question.
Can we afford not to? How am I
That's
not-
another question.
How am I gonna hire somebody else to come in here and mow for 1,080 hours a week at $15? I can tell you I didn't pay the cemetery mower $15, I paid him 17. And how did I do that? Well, I managed the fact that the budget was slightly heavier with a little less mowing to be able to pull the $17 an hour to make it happen. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to mow last year. Well, I wouldn't have had anybody. I didn't have anybody except for the one person I got to reapply.
Well, that'd be
Good history.
And we were
Same-
still
same
saving
thing.
money over doing it commercially.
Same thing for the
Still saving.
cemetery. Change the cemetery to 20 because you already paid 17.
Yep.
This is 15 there, so bump it up to 20. That's 20 across the board for those laborers.
What is minimum now? Is it
It's still 7.
Still 785 or something like that.
Go find a job that pays you $7.
No, right. No, I just.
Yeah.
I got one,
Yeah, what is it?
driving a school bus,
They don't pay you $7 an hour.
now they pay me 12.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
There isn't any
Yeah.
company out there that's gonna pay
So
$7.
you can't do anything.
That must be thinking California. 15, right?
Yeah, yeah. Some of those other states have that. We don't have those still.
But still, if you take the 15.
Yeah,
Mhm.
McDonald's,
Yeah,
Subway, they're all $15 an hour.
Mhm.
I mean, you might find it in a small mom and pop shop that's, training a
Starbucks
15
might be 12,
15
15.
yeah, 15
Yeah.
or 16-year-old kid. But outside of
first
that.
job, yeah.
Alright,
The city council should go up.
I do too. 'Cause you're not gonna find people to keep doing this.
That's where I was asking about those extras, I didn't know that was extra meetings.
It's so,
So like,
here's the thing, while yes, we can adjust it on here, that doesn't mean it changes. We can adjust it for budgeting purposes for the mayor and the council, but those require,
A whole cycle
it requires a resolution, but it also requires a whole cycle of voting before
Mhm.
it takes effect. So that way, if you guys are voting for me to get it, it's not because I'm here, it's because it's for the next person.
Gotcha.
of, right.
And this is in 27, so this is 27's budget, so it's not gonna do any good to, it wouldn't take effect until 28.
28.
So if you guys want to adjust mayor and council pay, that needs to happen in 27, you can allocate it, budget it for 28 when it's a voting cycle again, for 29. Right, we 29?
29. Yep.
No, it'd be, yeah, 29. Or 27.
20,
So when
Yeah.
you say we move it up to
But it would be
30,
fiscal 28.
Yes,
Fiscal.
that's what it would apply.
I'm sorry?
then we put
Fiscal 28
20,
before it would apply.
right. And you wouldn't get it until, is that where the 29 came in, January?
Yeah, January.
Right.
29.
So, this is 21,640, isn't that what we did?
I thought it was 630.
63.
At 643, you'd really throw Doug off.
Right, I would balk on
I'm
that
about to
one.
throw 30 cents in here somewhere.
You start putting decimal points, I'm gonna be.
Alright, anything else with this? So Wendy, with the figured in budgetary amounts for the employees, the FICA Medicare at 7.65 can be figured along with the 9.44 for IPERS, correct?
Yes, and that salary tab should have done the math
I wouldn't count on it.
for me, and I'll update
I
it.
don't know, there's a lot of little green flags there, I don't know if that means there's something wrong with that. Or is that a
No,
no?
that's just
Or is that
it's
a
just
no?
a,
Okay.
Formula doesn't agree with other formulas.
it's unprotected.
Alright. I don't think we.
Well, in 2028 is an election year. We'll have 3 members being on, so I would be interested in entertaining that, changing that to 30.
The council and mayor.
Yeah.
Yep. It just won't do any good in this. This one will be over before that takes effect. So,
Right.
is it a resolution or ordinance, Wendy? I think it's an ordinance.
Yeah, it's in the,
So it's an ordinance, it takes,
Mhm.
takes the 3 meetings and then it'll require an ordinance to be written and then 3
And
meetings.
is that house, sewer, water, and
Yes.
garbage are as well?
Exactly. Yep.
That's what I thought.
Right. I'm gonna hope that all those numbers are there in the way they need to be.
We'll proof them. I think you got the base numbers in there, so.
Yep,
Yep.
those are the decision numbers, so that's what matters.
Yep.
Alright, so that takes care of being able to complete our
mhm.
May 25 or March 20 or March 5. I'm gonna hit save before we lose anything. Go back to the expenses and see if there's anything else in here we wanna hit. Unless you guys are chomping at the bit to get out of here. It's only 2.5 hours, we still got half an hour at least.
Hey, it was productive. Well, we had the solar guys in here.
Yeah, that was valuable.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know if we can necessarily build it into the budget, but it could, depending on which way we go,
I think if,
create some cushion if it's done right.
I think one of the things about it is that the bonus to it is that we already have such a high rate of expense.
Yep.
So when we factor in a high rate of expense, if we were able to, say, borrow for the money at a very reasonable rate of 1%, somewhere where we are getting paid back in that 5 years and then can pay it off in the next 5. So we pay off ourselves the first 5, the second 5 pays off the note. Now we're 10 years because that's the only way that solar becomes feasible. Solar has a 20-year lifespan. So if you don't pay yourself off and you don't get enough money out of it in that first 10 years, then you go to the end of your 20 lifespan, you gotta replace it, you didn't ever get
Then you're
anywhere.
just
No, you didn't gain anything in
So
reality.
the point is that you should get to the point where you pay yourself back, you pay for the product, and then you can move into the, now we're gaining back for the citizens, and that's the whole point of this.
Right.
It,
In the scale,
these
these
are
are
tax
not,
dollars.
yeah, it's a
So-
much bigger scale than a personal one.
Absolutely.
That it's just like they just put in 3 long rows that you can't afford to do personally.
Right, but it also just, it makes sense fiscally when we are spending,
Yeah.
is it $62,000 a year for
For that
one
one.
electrical outlet? So,
Yeah, it's over 100,000 for everything.
And then the opportunity, we could expand it if that law goes through, say the rest of the city at some point.
and $62,000 a year times 5 years is 310,000.
It just about gets there.
Yeah.
Well, our annual cost, electricity for everything, in 23, we spent 104,000.
Yeah, that's for all.
In 24 for everything,
Yeah.
it went to 110, so it went up 6,000. And now it's at 130 in 25, that's the last year we had. So
And
we've
there's still
gone up
another-
30% roughly,
There's another 8% coming this July.
and another 8 coming.
But if we can double that field, when they allow it, and they put a bigger transformer in it.
Or quadruple it or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Sky's the
I
limit.
mean, the scale, it just makes sense, much more than a personal residential setup. And it makes sense residentially, but the payoff's slower.
So much slower. It's a 20-year mark.
Yeah.
Where by the time they're done with the 20 years, they gotta replace it.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen.
Mine will be done in 14.
It's what I've seen
But still,
personally looking
yeah.
at it over the years myself. Just it doesn't work out if you hit that 20-year mark.
And then you look at, now, it does increase your home insurance, but for us, I don't know if it's gonna do much to our insurance, I don't know, that might be a question for Melissa.
There's a value in it. I mean,
Oh, right.
there's
Oh, yeah.
so there's $400,000 in equipment,
Yeah.
roughly,
So we're
not
gonna,
counting
yeah,
in
we
labor
gotta take
costs.
that out
So
a little bit, but
A hailstorm.
I still
and-
think, but 400,000, we're already paying for 11 million.
Right.
So it's a drop in the
Mhm,
bucket.
Yep.
Yeah. We should be maybe a premium increase of $1,000 maybe,
Right.
so, yeah. No, it just makes a whole lot of sense. But even if we let somebody else do it, we can gain 15.
We can gain a
Without taking
nickel a
any risk.
kilowatt hour
So, and then we have
But-
the, sounds like the option to buy at 6.
at year 6, I believe it was.
Right.
I would, my 2 cents in thinking on it, as a company, pay for it. As a enterprise, we should pay for it.
Right, I think,
I
I'm
don't-
with you.
I don't want an investor taking what we
Yep.
should be earning.
No,
Right.
Right.
Right. I
Why,
agree.
why should they be getting our cash pile, when it should be when they say ours, it's not me.
Just
I'm
Yeah,
not
the
getting-
cities,
This
right.
is everybody here, this
When
is
you
for,
say ours,
depends on-
you're saying Maxwell.
yep, City of Maxwell, this is for everybody's benefit, so.
Whatever.
Can we swing it, is the question.
Wendy, when you have a minute, would you review our, bonding ability?
For solar?
Yep, see if we can, because we have limits, and I don't know, there might even be a phone call for Tiona. Maybe Tiona
No,
might be
yeah,
able to
yep,
just.
yep.
pay me
I mean, you
back.
talk to her again about a couple things anyway.
Yeah, another option, she might be aware of other financing options too, something SRF like.
Yep,
Mhm.
so, considerations.
We'll just run water through it and call it clean water.
Yes. Well, it is cleaning the water.
That's true. I like it.
It's
I mean,
not-
it's a stretch, but.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's
pumping it
directly
through.
servicing the water. Now we're cleaning the water with the sun.
Yeah.
How much better can it get?
That's true.
I mean, it's, yeah,
If
SRF
somebody
is
would
like
just pay
3 to
for
4% loan.
This is how we got Baldwin Street done.
Yeah.
How many times did it get denied?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it kept getting denied because there's no money for sewer. But there is money if we decide to replace the water line. So if we replace the water line, we got the loans, or we got the grants.
Because it touches. Well done.
It's just it's how we sell it.
Yeah.
How you play the game.
Semantics.
Yep.
Play it, yeah.
And if it doesn't work on the sewer side, maybe we set it out here next to South Street.
Oh,
Now it's on
For
the
the
water.
water.
Now it's on the water.
or both.
Maybe we do too.
Mm-hmm. That's the second.
Yeah, because we're
biggest
maxed
consumer.
out there potentially.
Cause that's the second biggest
You mean
consumer,
300
well, maybe
bucks.
streetlights are, but I think the water one is right up there with it.
I'm sorry?
You mean 325th Street.
Yes.
The thing that's nice is it's not gonna be an eyesore, if people consider it an eyesore,
It's not an eyesore, yeah. It won't be an eyesore out there, and it won't be
Yeah.
an eyesore on South Street.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
The water plant was second.
You guys noticed that I
Yeah,
asked,
was it? Okay.
I asked
Sewer
about
first.
having it as a carport.
Yeah.
All of our trucks sit outside. Why does the dump truck sit outside? Why shouldn't it be underneath?
but, yeah.
Why can't we put our salt patch underneath it? We talked about that a couple years ago.
Take care of our problem there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. No.
we don't want it touching it, but.
Right.
Yeah. Make sure it's aluminum and put bumper posts around it.
I'm just looking through here. Looking for anything we didn't
So
cover.
when do we need to know about this tractor?
That's gonna be next meeting. We started, so you missed the last meeting, we started putting away money for the lawnmowers. However, it wasn't enough and it wasn't soon enough. And I also found out, I don't think we did it soon enough for the truck. Because we have one truck that if it doesn't start up in 3 days, it won't run. We have to start it every 3 days. It's got gremlins.
Oh, draining the batteries. Could put a disconnect on it.
Yeah, but it's, what year is that thing? 94?
Is it one of the dump trucks or something?
That's one of the pickups we use for snow plowing.
Oh, I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
The one with
It's
lots
gotta
of
find
on the
that
back.
past life service. My thought process, I know that you guys said no new, but new vehicle makes sense if you're replacing vehicles that are completely junked out, where I'll get $500 out of that truck probably, well, maybe 1,000 because
Yeah,
it's
I
flat.
gotta get that, yeah.
But I'm moving vehicles down. So Tony's truck, which is near end of life, slides down to slot 2. That's the thing, everything that we have, we've ran into the ground already.
Well, with that said,
We're too
I
far
mean,
into it.
I don't know what it is about big government, small government. I mean, they're tearing down the big building there in Des Moines because
The Hoover
it's no
building?
good
Yeah.
and it's junk.
Uh-huh.
Okay? What is it with
Or not the Hoover.
Wallace.
cities and,
Wallace. We don't plan.
yeah,
We don't plan. We don't plan for the future. We don't plan for expenses that we know are coming. We know we need a
But
fire
none of
truck.
that, I
We
mean-
know we need a city truck. We know we need a lawnmower.
We definitely have to do, yeah, we gotta plan for that future replacement.
Right.
And not just like, where are we gonna get the money that day?
Yeah, that's the
Right? And
problem.
we've been having that conversation on
yeah,
the water
so
and
things need to
sewer,
get
like,
fixed
what's
when
that
they're
right
broke
number?
instead of just limping them around. I mean, because that's what takes your truck out of service is because you didn't fix something, and it just goes to junk.
That's my concern with Tony's truck. We just put a transmission in it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told this week that the truck isn't shifting right again. Well, there goes another $2,000. You know, that's,
And it looks like crap because they're going around with a big little cut inside of it, you know?
we got paid for it.
Yeah,
The
but
council
still.
decided not to fix it.
Oh, okay. Use the money elsewhere.
So,
But yeah, I have no idea what used stuff's going for, but if 20 doesn't buy a decent truck,
20 won't buy a decent mower. In that packet, there is a mower in there for $40,000 that's
Oh my
already
gosh.
wore out.
Oh.
So, there's,
That's because it made somebody some really good money.
somebody made some money on it.
Yeah,
And then they need to make some more apparently.
apparently John Deere does.
Well,
And,
the
and I've
bonus
always
is,
said, when you buy a used vehicle, you're buying somebody else's problem anyway.
The bonus
They got
is-
rid of it for a reason.
That you know the person who had
Yep,
that.
yep.
at John Deere, I can get a $15,000 discount on it. I can't get that on used. There's no discount on used. So, state contract is huge. We have to utilize that whenever we can. We bought that $35,000 mower. Nobody really saw that. What everybody saw, we bought this brand new $17,000, no, we bought a $35,000 commercial grade lawnmower to mow our cemetery with. But we paid $17,000 for it. That's the difference. That's how we can afford to buy good stuff and take care of what we need to, so.
And that's because of what?
State contract.
State contract.
Every
State
city in the
contract.
state of Iowa is able to utilize the state contract. Same thing when we wanna go to Carl Chevrolet and buy a new truck, we get the state contract rate. We buy trucks $50,000 to $60,000 less.
And then there's a warranty, so that if something breaks,
We buy it at dealer cost, is basically what it boils down to. Not the dealer cost that you walk in there, we're gonna sell this to you at dealer cost. It's a different dealer cost.
yes.
So, Wendy, when you wanna meet to work through this spreadsheet together, cause I think we got some cleaning up to do.
And Melissa's coming Friday to double check the DOM stuff and make sure everything looks as it should.
Very good, I
Maybe
appreciate
after
that.
Friday.
Yep.
So it's Friday now versus Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how are we against our timeline? Cause she's gotta publish something for the.
It's the 5th.
Yep, so I needed
That
it.
was it? Okay.
And then the levy public hearing can't be before March 20th. So, I didn't know if you wanted to, I mean, you can't make a decision tonight, but possibly do the tax levy before the April meeting on the 8th, the regular, and then you have to have 15 minutes in between.
Yeah.
And then the budget.
That wasn't a decision though.
No, it wasn't a decision. And the budget hearing
The
and
mayor
approval,
said that, Kenny.
maybe,
Dan said meeting,
maybe
but not tonight.
the 22nd of April, possibly.
Okay. We'll put the schedule on our next meeting's agenda.
Yep.
Which I believe is next week.
Yeah.
Do we have one next week again?
The 11th.
So
That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Do we need to meet next week? That was my concern.
Yeah, that's for. Cause we put together with Tiana's background and some research that we have done, looking at the water and sewer and garbage, we.
Yeah, and I just sent that to you, right? Wendy, you got that? I sent it.
Is that what you gave me, Doug? Or
No.
Doug gave you that.
Different?
But I broke out all of Tiana's estimates for the line items for the water and the sewer.
Oh, yes, yes,
So
I
you
did.
can pop that in, so.
So you're thinking maybe I'm hearing next week, or no?
I'd rather get it done than be up against the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
wanna,
if-
in case we have to
No.
do something or.
McCallsburg set up,
Then if we don't have if we don't need the 18th, you can cancel, depending on where we are.
So yes to a meeting next week or no?
Oh, my 2.
Huh?
Let's get 2.
Right.
We may not have always agreed on every line item, but I think we did critically assess every line item, and say, hey, does this make sense? Just even by asking, hey, what's in this number? It's like, we moved some numbers around, but it shouldn't have been in that account or whatever, so.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you we're really close. We're at 1.623 in expenses. We're at 1.609 in revenues, and we don't have all the revenues yet.
Right.
And there's possibly still some grants coming.
15,000 roughly.
Yep.
It's
So
looking good for a good start to the year.
very,
And then we
very
can
good.
just look for other options down the road. So.
Yep.
I was just thinking, just going back to the park and rec days that we were on there, it's like, Jody's talking about doing those things, that I'm like going, we did those things, Park and Rec, like we used our revenue, our fees, and we did those things. All the field maintenance, everything, so, I don't know, just seems like maybe, I don't know if that has kind of fallen off, or maybe that's just not a thing anymore, where
There isn't any groups doing anything.
there isn't,
And-
okay.
And part of it, well, so I can tell you the rec league,
Yeah.
Maxwell College Rec League did, what they spent, like $1,500 having the, pitching mound redone at the Paul Legion Field this year. They did a lot of field work and,
Painted some
they had,
stuff. Bleachers and holes or something.
yeah, they restained all the poles,
Oh, yeah, the
dugouts.
dugout, yeah, I saw
And
that,
then
that's nice.
they also dug up the outfield and the infield, reseeded, sodded, or is reseeded this year with, they had a donation from Max Ag for that. So there is some of that stuff that comes in, but it's one of those things where we as a city, we don't take care of it, and it's ours. And that's where it always falls apart, where we should be spraying these fields regularly, but we don't, so they turn to weeds, so then they gotta go through and reseed the whole thing every 5 years, when it doesn't have to be. And
Cause
then
Tony's
there's-
got his spraying license, right, or he's maintained it.
So that was one of the things that they asked for, they asked for money to spray this year, so that was on the Parks and Open Spaces budget request.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time to spray 20 acres. It's not just the ball field, it's not just these two little ball fields, it's the rest of the parks too. Dandelions and everything, like, I couldn't tell you the number of complaints I had about dandelions last year.
Oh.
Dandelions were growing like crazy. When the little white one comes up a day after you mow it, it looks terrible. It looks like it's 8 inches tall, but.
Oh, yeah, cemetery's getting that way, yeah. I really
So-
think it'd be interesting if we have the extra, you know, what capacity we have. I mean, I spray 4 acres in about 2 hours. So it's not a huge thing, it's just finding the time. Last year was tough because it rained every other day, so.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
But then you gotta figure that we're also weed eating 20 acres and probably 2,000 headstones.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm just talking about the spring.
That's
So-
a tedious job, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we can't find somebody to do it, we have to send
We have to send our regular guys out.
two
to
regular
do
guys
it.
out there to do it, and that takes away from their normal duties, and
So when it comes to spraying, instead of, does it work out to hire somebody to do the spraying? I mean, budget wise, is it cheaper to
With Max
Ag to go out there and spray it than,
Put
or,
up their sign.
I don't know if it's cheaper.
because I mean, they got all the chemicals, they got all the equipment, and all they gotta do is just send one guy out there today and
Good. I mean, it's potential.
You know,
All
the
those things
service.
are, all those things are time savers is what it boils down to. So everything comes out in time.
Yeah.
So if
It'll be
we're gonna
great.
pay our guy time, we're also paying our guy his salary, his wages, our chemical, our machines, our equipment,
And the
our
time to get it
hours,
all
our
put together
service,
and organized.
and then to organize it, make it happen on a specific day.
and then it rains that day you plan to do it.
And then, but the same thing may happen if we pay somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
But that's their problem, not
Right,
ours.
right.
So, and then, I mean, that goes with everything, like, I'm sure there's a contract company out there that will come and check your water for you every day. I'm certain, like,
I'm just speaking, past experience, we were able to, I think it was Max Ag that came and sterilized our infield. And they just did it for recognition. We paid for the chemicals, that's all we paid for. But it's just like, hey, hang a sign, I think there was a sign, I thought I saw, is it still out there?
they were able to get it, I had to clarify that through our attorney, you know, which,
Okay.
you know, everything costs money, like, that cost me $250 to ask the question, can we hang advertisement in the city?
Yeah, yes.
Everything costs, so.
Not
In order
tonight.
to.
For
they would-
them to be able to have the benefit of having the advertisement of their need to benefit the little community.
I'm just looked up there and I'm like, I can nut bright red.
Yes,
Oh.
okay.
Yes, you
We'll
can.
do that again.
I
So I
wanna
think the
test
more we
that
can
one.
approach those companies, say, hey, re-advertise.
I'll take your word for it.
Maybe we put an advertisement sign next to our solar panels.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll knock a little money off.
I just have to think, when we did the water budget, did we talk about the hydrant stuff?
Water and sewer's not done yet.
Okay.
We're waiting on something from them, Mindy.
Are you talking like hydrants and stuff?
Hydrant
Is where
repair.
you're headed?
From-
So, we asked Fiona about that, you know, can we throw it, cause it's part of water, but I also, we talked about a little bit, talked about really kind of safety too.
Yep.
I think we can make an argument that it's water, but she said it was a question for the attorney to say.
Of course it is.
Yeah, no, right.
$250 later, we'll figure out what.
Well, kind of more than that, but no, that's where you're headed.
Yeah, we need to have a hydrant repair, or hydrant repair replacement plan.
Yeah.
We do.
Much like we
Oh, not a plan, but we have a,
have a plan, we just can't, we gotta figure out funding on it,
Yeah,
I mean,
because,
there's a service.
yes,
is what we were
yes,
at.
there's a service that I looked up last year about, that they come out and they will service our hydrants and replace the gaskets and do all that stuff, which is a lot cheaper than all of a sudden the hydrant goes bad and we have to replace it for $5,000 to $10,000, depending on how far we have to dig. So I mean, I'd like to get that.
I think you can use, yeah.
I want to say the 25,000. Yeah, it was like 20 or 25,000 that I was asking for to be in the budget for that. So
As much as it costs to fix one, just fixing one
right,
pays for it.
yes,
No, I think I saw that somewhere when I was trying to get refreshed about what was going on in town. And
Yeah.
that's what I
I
thought.
want to say it was only like a couple $100 for each one, as long as it's not like, I know we've got one up there. It's actually up by, I think, by Sue's house, that is very hard to turn, and it's just going to be a matter of time before all of a sudden that stem,
Locks up, yeah.
it either locks and you can't open it at all, or it snaps and we have a problem.
Yeah, and that will.
It'd be a whole lot easier if we can go up there and get,
Usually it's gonna break after it starts leaking, or,
you know, and then we sit and wonder why we have like a million gallons of water coming up missing every month. Well, it's because there's leaks down in the ground from where those hydrants are,
Yeah,
and so we're losing water down below in some of those.
where we're not billing for it.
Yeah, we're not billing for it, so we're eating the cost of that water.
And really have the input.
But if we
on the backside.
fix those hydrants with the funds from water, we won't have to have missing water that we're trying to make up for. So,
We're proposing a $6 or $7 raise on water already, if we start putting money away, we need to, it's gonna be more than that.
Maybe we just ratchet it up.
Wendy, did you
A little
find what we
this year,
needed for
27
water and
and
sewer
then
yet?
we'll go
Was
down.
it from
I think we
Tiana?
just put a schedule together
Yeah,
and say, what can we do?
it
I
says
think
in
this
the
is the time to
spreadsheet,
think
water
about
not
it.
updated, sewer not
and that's kind of where I
updated.
was going with
Oh.
like the sidewalk stuff. Is
Yeah, I
we
didn't do the specific
Instead of
tabs, but
worrying
she
about
sent us,
sidewalks,
I plugged in the numbers,
our
but
water
I think
problem.
they're gonna meet.
And
Yeah,
then
that's a priority.
that'll save money that we're losing on the water, and then we can redirect it towards doing other things. So,
Do you guys wanna look at water and sewer tonight?
Let's start it at least, so if we have some questions, we'll know.
Okay, so we have some information in here listed from Tiona. I'm gonna try and make this a little bigger.
please.
Cause I think you guys did the main tabs, not
You're right.
the sub tabs.
Why is
Yeah,
that getting
yeah.
bigger? Thank you.
Cause that's just fiscal 26.
Alright. Tiana said 10/9/30, the same as fiscal 26. That is for wireless communication rent. We talked about that,
We
but
talked
we
about
might
that.
adjust that. So we'll just leave it there, cause it's set as a contract. Sales,
It's updated on the expense tab, not the,
Not the detail.
The- yeah.
So the far left.
Why does it say, why is this one 174,000 though?
Sales and water.
Sales and water was 174,000 and 26, but we're showing 85,000 for 27.
Yeah, nothing on that
We're
tab has
selling
been
water to
updated.
all those companies that were.
You need to go on the main tab.
Oh, I got.
Yeah,
I'm
nothing's been
sorry.
updated on that tab
I'm
from
sorry.
last year.
I need to keep playing in this one. Well, let's go to the revenue for water.
Did you have a chance to update it for those numbers I sent you? Wendy, or is that too late to put that in?
I had already put those in.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Let's see. The water.
So, okay, yeah, 228,610 for water total revenues, which is, oh yeah, we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go to tap-in permits. We estimated 2,700 due to new housing.
Yep.
With 10,930 for wireless communication, we're gonna review that.
Yep.
We had 193,000 in water sales, which was a 20% increase over, probably not 20, probably a 10% increase over 26.
And I asked for the wireless contract.
Thank you.
So hopefully have that soon.
8,000 estimate for penalties for water. Mind you, these are all revenues. 3,700 miscellaneous charges.
37.
Yep. What was that for? Do you remember? Why didn't I put a note? It's not like me.
You've been pretty good about it.
For the 4550 or which one?
Yes,
Yeah.
4550. Because that's substantially higher than what it was.
Oh yeah, I got the reimbursement from the landlord that he used to pay the water bill and then he had Tony install meters and
Oh, so these would be new water meters, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was what we did. Cause the 6 new ones for the housing.
Water excise tax 9280, and the deposit revenue 1,000. Wendy, look where UB bill tax gets deposited.
Oh, for 4561.
Yes, that's my note.
Oh,
4560, sales tax revenue water.
Yeah, that's what when they post a receipt management, Simple City figures that out in the behind the scenes.
Okay. So what is the UB bill though?
Utility bill?
Oh yeah.
The utility bill.
Yeah, like ATM machine.
So it's, we don't know where it goes.
Well, and I in the 4560, nothing's been posted there since 2018.
I wonder if it all moved to water excise tax. Used to be sales, now it's water excise.
Yes, that's right.
Jumped over to water excise in 2019.
So the water excise would be the 7% sales tax collected on all water sales.
And then I have to turn around
And then we have to
and pay
remit
the
it.
state.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Unlike
Okay.
the franchise tax we get to keep.
Right.
Yeah.
Still
That's what I
tax.
was hoping it was.
Right.
It's like, dang, where's the offset?
Okay. So, anybody, so 22, probably need to move this over. We came up with a higher number than Tiona, which was 226,593, and that's because we were anticipating higher numbers.
Yeah.
So
We
we're
have
good
the
with
new
these
meters
numbers?
and all that.
I'll add them, I'll move them over. Water revenues are in. Must have 85,700 for sewer revenues. No, debt service. Is that right?
But, yeah, that's just, yeah, the property tax levy.
The property tax levy. So I'm gonna move that over here. That is a finalized number. We estimated a smaller number for local option sales tax. So should we move that 157,370?
Cause it was going down 2.1%.
370. And 23,750 for franchise tax. And we're estimating 700 revenue cover EAP. We're also estimating a smaller number for road use tax. Right, that's the road fund. 113,430. 10,000 for emergency. Nah, I just ruined that. I just put that in the wrong place. Go back.
Control E.
There we go. So it should be a $10,000 transfer here, right?
Yep.
For the emergency trust total. There. That works. Look at that.
Slip back down to local option.
Okay.
I took the 157,370, and we're losing 2.1%. We're only going to get 97.9%, and I got one.
No, that was the one. That was of the 163,000.
Okay, wrong number. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, the 163,000 was the 92.9.
You did the 95%?
We did 92.9.
92. Oh, you took it off that. Gotcha.
Yep. So
okay.
we took the 95 minus the
Yep.
2.1. I do creative math thing.
Yes, you do. You might pass.
My kids hate me over there with math. Old math.
Right. Library trust. We are estimating a 2,300 transfer.
370.
If there's anything left.
Wendy, this was from our WGF lookup amounts.
54.
Comes from road, water, general fund. 4830.
That was for the equipment, correct? The backhoe.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Truck.
Yeah, it says right there on
mower.
the right hand side, backhoe.
Okay.
Lead.
Yep.
So we need to change it to 16.2, right? So we went 7,200 on the backhoe, 5,000 truck, and 4,000 mower.
Yep.
I don't think that's enough, but we're gonna put it in there for now. 16.2 here. 16,200. Miscellaneous revenue. We need to change this to
4750.
4750. 500. And we have 15,000 interest, and we are anticipating 45,000. I think we're still conservative. I'm gonna adjust that to 70. 40, 16, 50, 37, 60, kick that down to 590, probably gonna change, maybe, I don't know. If we divided that out, which is why that one's different, no sticky keys.
Sticky keys.
$16,200 is what we said here. $16,20 here.
Be nice if that 16,200 would be understated.
Hopefully we'll get some more updated information.
Yeah.
Why is our township contribution for, that needs to be adjusted, right?
Well, it took off the fire, it had a formula in it, it was taken off the fire page.
Yeah, that came right from fire and EMS.
Okay, well, we were estimating 21,220. How'd we change that? We won't be able to change that then. We can't change that one. Maybe 250.
Nope,
Oh,
that's taken-
building
nope.
permits?
That was
That
another
was,
formula.
that was another formula.
Where the heck's that formula from?
It was just rounding the last
Oh,
two
nice.
fiscal years.
Oh, yeah. that's
Or,
what it was.
yeah, averaging and then rounding.
Okay, so I can type in the number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a formula?
No, static.
I'm gonna change it. We did 30. Not sure why it's purple though. Animal license. Alright, well, is there any revenues? Final number can't be decided until decision's made.
Oh, the transfers.
This'll be where we'll have to figure out where, how close we are and what else we need to adjust.
Right.
Let me know if you see something I missed.
Looks like you got it.
Used to be grants.
Yeah, there's some right there.
Oh, looks like we went down to 15,000 on the trees already, so that's gonna hurt our tree buying or tree removals. And there's 50,000.
Proceeds from debt loan.
Sidewalk replacement.
25,000. Alright, maybe sewer. 40,240 is what we came up, or 402,240 is what we came up with. That's because it wasn't separated out, which we are entering that information now. 2260. 405,000. That's what we had. What is this? $176,000 transfer in sewer loans. Alright. Now our revenue doesn't look so good. $28.56. Yeah.
Oh, this one's good.
I'll go out like that. Some of that's transfers. I don't
Right.
know as though they're in this form.
Right. The out part.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are all here.
And you got, yeah, so you got all the sewer, okay, there they are. Yep. And that, all that was, I just notes from what Tiana,
Tiana.
that's her 5%. Her, so. Now the only thing that, you're on water there, 8, no, that's sewer.
this is water.
This is water right here.
So we've had in the water lines, let's see, in the repairs, run the water here.
Building maintenance and repair.
Yeah, 31020, 310, 320, 330, ending in that, 310, yeah. 320, go down to 320, yeah, so there's the big one, yeah, 6320. So we had a couple water main breaks in 24 and 25. The big one was the one on
Main Street,
210.
or 210.
Yeah, so, you know, we were tracking along 13,000, 10,000, 17, then went to 31 in fiscal year 24, and then 52,000, but we're back down to 24,000. I don't know, it's like, what do you think? I mean, it's a guess, you just don't know, but then you're talking about hydrants, and is this a place where we bump that up and be a little more conservative and plan that we're gonna have something?
What was the cost on those hydrants?
I can't remember, it was 20 or 25,000 that I requested for the program. I think it was 25.
Now, the key question when we asked Ellen, she goes, can't I, is that well connected to our water line, why can't we do water? And it serves everybody. If it fails, it really does fail across the board. I mean, it's just like a water main break.
And there is money for grants on water main lines.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we can replace water mains, and when
Be
you replace a
proactive
water
about
main,
it.
you
Yeah.
get a new fire hydrant. That might be the better option.
Good.
Yeah.
The other side of that is you also get a road. And we're probably not gonna be doing a whole lot more blacktop asphalt, but we can definitely dig up and regrade and put back another chip seal or.
Yeah, right. For the time.
With a subsurface that's leveled and correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Joel, you requested 20,000
Was
in
it 20,000?
October.
Okay.
So where does that go? Grounds maintenance, building repair?
If it goes where water main breaks, I think it fits there pretty well.
I think it should probably be in its own.
Or capital,
you wanna keep
capital
it separate?
equipment.
Capital equipment.
Water.
Make a note what it's for.
Let's wait and guess. Well, we'll be guessing later is what happens. My recommendation, Joel, would be to talk with Tony and find out what sections and review the fire hydrants that need to be replaced. And find out what sections that ties into sections of water mains that are the most prone to fail, and work that section first, and then see what we can come up with grants or funding availability for.
Yeah.
Cause you know, that, like the Baldwin project, the water department didn't get hit on that because there was $400,000 in grants to cover that water main.
Yeah.
Cause there was a whole new water main, plus we added a new water main that wasn't even there,
Right.
down Fifth Street.
Do the same grant cover all the sewer stuff that had to be done too?
No,
No.
sewer,
Yeah, we
you
had to-
can't touch sewer.
You can't, okay, okay.
You can't touch sewer.
No funding for
So
sure.
the thing is, the sewer mains down Baldwin Street were already relined.
Oh, okay.
So
So we just had to do the entry points?
yes.
Okay.
Actually, we didn't affect the sewer. We
At all.
had one sewer issue, but the rest was the water lines. And
Okay.
the mains got all new taps and
Awesome.
new services
Okay.
to the homes. So what you run into though, what really isn't covered is stormwater management, which is this $50,000 that we're paying now to get the rest of the stormwater out to the creek. None of that's covered under grants. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alright, any other burning issues anybody else has?
None of the water.
Um, I have two S. In parks. That would replace the mower that just died with 11,000 hours on it, and buy a broom that we could manage to clean up all of these snowplow piles of dirt in people's yards, and the bike trail, and snow on Main Street, because we're responsible for all of that.
What is it? What'd you call it?
It's a front end mower.
Okay.
It's got it'd be a 72-inch deck out front,
Right.
and then it's also 4-wheel drive because we constantly pulling mowers out of swamp.
You said for what? How was it used for snow? Is like an attachment
It's,
then to
yeah,
auger
the
it?
broom. It's got a broom.
So you take, yeah,
Okay.
take the mower deck off and.
Yep, you
put
can
it
put
on.
a broom on.
Street sweeper.
Basically.
You're gonna spend more than that for a street sweeper though.
You guys didn't get to see the notice I got from the DOT, but they want a contract they want us to sign an agreement. We'll be discussed at the next meeting, but they want us to be responsible for street sweeping and pretty much anything and everything else that applies to Highway 210, which I'd ask for that too. I didn't want to accept any responsibility for the roadway that I am responsible for.
That's a quick answer.
So we'll discuss that at the next meeting. But I don't know. That's a lot of money, and I get it. But we haven't done a good job of taking care of our equipment to the point where, not that it's not taken care of. It's we run it into the ground before we start planning for replacement.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say.
So how,
Yeah.
so
The replacement.
52,800, buy a new mower brush. How many years before that has to be replaced?
The current one, I believe is a 13. So you're
10 years.
13 years, 13. So
10 was probably really the.
it was probably 10.
Knowing
No,
Tony
I think
being
we should
mechanically
go 10.
inclined, he can
Yeah.
limp it.
So if you consider that, we just started putting away $4,200 a year.
Yep.
That gets us really close.
It'd be 42,000, yeah.
So it's
But
how
the
can
thing
they-
is, we have 3 more
Yeah.
that are just
Yeah.
as bad a shape.
Okay.
Or will be in the next couple of years, yeah.
We have one brand new one that is designated for the cemetery. It's a year old and it's got 1,000 hours on it. So, well, we paid 1,000 hours worth of work out of an employee to sit on that mower.
So I was talking to the Iowa League, it's like, cities don't have fixed asset schedules, cause then you have the number right there, oh, they just rely on the insurance, well, that's like 40,000 foot view. I think it makes sense for us to take an inventory of what we've got, if it's half-life,
That
we
is
fund,
still in the process.
just get it in there and start.
Asked for a couple years ago.
Yep.
All right, repeat that, we've got 1,000 hours and we're paying our mower $17 an hour. So we are spending 17,000.
Almost 2 years worth of work though.
That's 2 years, okay. Okay, yeah, so we're still dollars ahead.
Yep.
Well, cause like, for a fire truck, I mean, you're looking at close to $1 million to buy a brand new fire truck.
Right.
And fire trucks by NFPA standards are 20-year truck. at 20 years, you're supposed to get revenue. Well, I'm pretty sure we're over that on a couple trucks, so.
Think so?
We were talking about the carburetors the other day.
No fuel injection on some of those puppies.
What this is,
diesel.
the mayor can still work on that carburetor, but.
That's all we need.
That's all about
I don't know, the parks and open space has asked for $1,800. Well, actually, they're asking for $3,000. We had 1,800 in there. Requesting 4,000 for expansion of the renewal, 3,000 for agility equipment. Wait, I put that somewhere else.
Thought you did too.
I'll put it over here. Where's parks open spaces? Yeah, it's right here. Equipment, 5,000. 5820 for operating. 5,000 for paint. 2,000 for equipment. There's these numbers. We'll have to work those numbers back over. Now, the other thing, we talked a little bit about a truck earlier too. Here's the sad part. We could buy a truck for the same money as a mower, roughly. Which is why we have.
It doesn't seem logical, but it is.
We have $5,000 scheduled for trucks right now. I don't even know. Wendy, can you tell me how much money we have in that account? I want to say we started that a year or two ago. It was shortly after I got here.
Is it the 003 or which one?
I don't know. Should be a capital equipment for vehicles,
Okay.
trucks, somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, that's
But anyway, my thought process is, we have one truck that's junk. It's a pickup truck, it's junk. Needs to go. I have Tony's truck, which is nearly junk. Very close to me to go, but I could drop it down in service use. So I could take it down to the next level of service use where it's not gonna get driven every single day and get driven from every call from one end of the town to the other. And we mentioned earlier, when we talked about, well, we don't think we put that many miles on it. That truck has 94,000 miles on it.
the one.
Yes.
Okay. The one with the gash.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's got 94,000 miles on it, but it also runs more than your typical service.
Yeah.
They're outside, they're working all day, so, and the lights have to be on anytime they're on the highway, so there's certain conditions behind the vehicle use for a
It's
city
probably
or
130 or
commercial.
40.
Well, you would consider like the number of hours. I think you would probably see the hours as probably, I'll give you an example. I had a Suburban that had 250,000 miles on it, it had 6,000 hours on the motor. That one probably has 6,000 hours on the motor, but it's only got 90,000 miles. So that's the kind of service difference that you get in commercial applications.
Right.
So they're just cutting around.
I think they take like 60 miles per hour, so if you've got, you know, I'm not good at math, but if you got like 10 hours on it, then you get 600 hours, or 600 miles.
Right.
So, I hate those small numbers. Everyone's just figure that out.
The other ask was that we have 2 dump trucks that are both basically failing. Junk. The orange truck is well past service life. White truck is, there's a bigger white truck that it's got a hole in the floorboard. Don't even ever use it. I don't think we need a double tandem axle because we don't haul our own rock. I don't think we need a full V blade because we don't do highway maintenance. I think we can get by with like a 5,500 mid-grade serviceable dump truck, a single rear axle type truck that we can use for putting a larger blade on. that would help and keep the streets clean quick. And then the big part of it is that we have to remove all the snow off of Main Street.
Yeah.
And piling it up becomes an issue without bigger.
Way back, it was nineties, didn't we used to have like a tractor mounted auger that went right down the middle and it went right in, put it right in the dump truck?
Oh, I'm sure we probably did.
Okay.
But everything on the Main Street's got sand and salt on it, so every piece of equipment that gets used on Main Street just deteriorates
Yeah.
so much
Right,
faster.
right.
That's the problem with both the dump trucks. They were both plow trucks and they're both rotten now.
Yeah. No, I guess what we're going with that is like, would it be, I don't know, to move that pile in the middle of the highway with a blade versus, augering it?
I'll tell you what probably would make more sense is if you had like a 12-foot box blade on an end loader to pile up. I mean, what you see in every parking lot of a big box store.
Yeah.
They have those giant end loaders sitting
Or
out there with a
skid
giant
steer
box.
with a
And look
huge
how high
box.
they put that piles of snow. Well, that's what we would really technically need, but we get by with the backhoe, we get by with trucks. It takes a little time.
Okay.
So, I don't know, I would kinda leave it up to the city guys to decide what truck got replaced first, but there's more than enough need for a $50,000 truck to be purchased, one side or the other, whether it's a bigger dump truck or a smaller pickup with a blade on it too.
Is the state contract just with General Motors then, or?
Nope.
No, you can go anywhere?
Yep.
Dodge, Ford, whatnot? Okay.
I think sometimes it just,
F-550 dump truck,
sometimes it depends on the kind of deal that you can get, it varies from vendors. Every vendor has a better deal. You notice that, like, you see some of the state vehicles, they might go Chevy for a while, they might go Ford for a while, they
Yep,
might go
yep.
Dodge. It just depends on which ones you get the
Pioneer
best
was the
deal.
same way.
Yep.
For 5 years we did Dodge and next thing you know we're doing Fords.
Yep.
But here's a F-550, this is so you wonder, a F-550 dump truck dually is, 82,124, and that's
New?
without a blade,
New?
so, yeah.
Then we get a discount off of that?
Yeah.
So these prices in here, where it says invoice, is that MSRP or is that our?
That should be the contract rate.
That's the contract rate.
I know at, the state, we're buying Suburbans right, well, not this year. A year ago, we were buying Suburbans for 45,000. Like, go buy a Suburban for 45,000.
Right.
You're gonna spend 90.
Yeah, that's
Minimum,
all that.
for bare bones. Ours are all
5 years
LTZ.
ago,
And actually, so
75,000.
I just saw this is for a 25. I think the 27 prices are going up.
Yeah, there is a
Like
change
substantial.
going on.
I think I want to say it's like at least $10,000 increase in prices, not more, for 27s.
Might have to do some more shopping around on it too, so.
And that's on the state bid. That's we buy a new Tahoe every year, so.
Alright. So it's only on the 27s, so 26 you can still sneak in?
Yeah.
Lower rate?
Yeah.
I don't know where. That's my only other ask is another vehicle. I don't even know where it would go. Not there.
And there's nothing in the capital account right now.
Nothing.
You're talking the fund.
The 003, yeah.
So, need to make sure that those funds actually take place in transfers.
Yeah,
moving
they
forward.
weren't done the last fiscal year, so do I catch it up or not, or?
You could do it for 26.
Okay, but not 25, probably too late, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we can still do it for a current, so that means there's what, there'll be 5,000 and then we'll still make the transfer. That carries into 27, so. That'll be one of those things, put on your list, Wendy, after the start of the fiscal year to make all appropriate transfers to fund
Cause I need to
everything that we
do
go
the
through.
fire and EMS too.
I mean, as far as the truck's concerned, it's just have an inventory of them and it's like, which one's gonna deliver the biggest bang for making the city efficient?
And whether
deliver
they need the
service,
worst,
so,
yeah.
Yep.
you know, if it's a bigger one, then we'll bite the bullet this year on that.
Roads.
Which one you thinking? Just, it could be any truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put truck on there, whatever. Do we need any attachments for the truck? Or is it just
Usually
shape?
with a new truck, you would wanna put a new blade on with it.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll take it.
2013 blades aren't gonna fit a 2025, so.
We'll need to get, that's kinda why I put the 65.
Okay, that was
Should
truck
could be able to get like a snow blade, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't buy this stuff. If not, at least it's close, I mean,
Yeah.
if it's 65,000 set aside for this year, for 27, that means in July, we throw another 5,000 on top of that 65, that's 70,000 for vehicle purchase.
Yeah, just put truck and attachments in or something. Or accessories, whatever, yeah.
Alright.
I suppose they all have to be fitted with lights and whatnot.
Yeah. Alright, anybody else wanna work on anything else?
So one thing that we talked about, we, you know, we have that tax revenue for the wastewater treatment plant. That is not part of calculating the rates. So obviously that would bring the rates down. It's an optics thing, cause it's gotta either pay one way or the other. So we were just talking about what makes it attractive to live here, and that's one bill that somebody sees every month. We were talking about it, it's like, well, if that would drastically reduce, we counted that as a fixed. That would drastically reduce the minimum, but, you know, maybe it's something we maybe we just maintain that minimum instead of raising it by putting that in there, but I don't know what we wanna do with that, cause right now it's not in that rate calculation, so.
Right, and I don't know, it is, a lot of it's perception, but it's perspective too.
Yeah.
I've lived here for, well, 2009, and when I moved back here, that time, I mean, my water bills then, family of four was $62.
Yeah.
Progressively went up, I mean, we were at $75 forever. And then, of course, with the big changes
Sewer.
come when the sewer plant come, and
Yeah.
everybody expected that.
Yeah.
And we've had the public hearings, and we don't get a lot of complaints about it, but,
Okay.
at least we don't get the complaints up here for it. What we get is $9,000 in collected revenues for late fees, and
Because of that.
which
Okay.
tells me that people can't pay it, or they're getting close to not being able to pay it, or it becomes an issue. So somewhere along the line, there's an issue.
Mhm.
I mean, $9,000 on collected late fees is a lot.
That's a lot, and it's,
I mean, it's good for the city.
yeah, but
It's not
That's
good
not good
business
for the
for our,
people.
not good business for our people.
So that doesn't just throwing it out there.
Cause in essence, they're paying a regressive tax. They already can't afford it. So now they're getting hammered. But yeah, I don't know what the perfect answer is, or if any is. But,
I'm just saying it's out there for an option for us to
yeah.
adjust that going forward, or.
What are your, Joel and Ken, what are your guys' thoughts? So what he's saying is that there's a revenue stream that is collected off of tax dollars that hasn't been applied to,
The income for the rate.
to the income for the water rates.
It get used elsewhere for the same thing, but yeah.
So we could use that to lower? Is that what you're saying?
Lower or
Or
maintain?
maintain the rate.
Freeze it.
I mean,
Maintain.
then you gotta replace it somewhere with, well, it's gonna come out of the levy.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
but
six
it's
one half
one of those
million.
things that's, you know, it's a smaller number in the levy than it is where you're seeing it, and people are probably better at budgeting, well, it's probably escrow for most people.
Most people are paying in
So,
escrow, so
Yeah.
you know,
they
it's just,
necessarily feel it.
I don't know, it's an optics thing, but it's a perception thing, as you said, it's like if we can help with that perception and like, hey, I'm getting, you know,
Are you talking about the property taxes?
the WWTP, yeah.
Okay, I checked on that. Since it's a revenue bond, you can't use
Okay,
the levy. It has to come from the enterprise.
okay,
Alright.
very good,
So-
thank you very much, yeah.
So,
There we go.
Unfortunately.
We're good.
We're done.
We're
Table
doing
that.
it the way we're doing
Yeah,
it.
thank you,
Great job.
Cindy.
So much for us.
thank you.
But yeah, that was certainly worth pursuing.
Yeah.
Thank you for looking at that.
She does her homework for us.
She does. She
Thank you.
hears us. She's always listening.
Just like mom, you always hear us.
Alright, well, I think we've got enough for tonight. We can work on transfers the last little bits later.
So next week,
Yep,
Do we have enough numbers to get our March?
we're good for
Good.
March.
Yes.
Yep. Fabulous.
So,
Yeah, it's really
just-
kind of,
Just a quick recap, 1.708, 1.856. So, still under.
and we did put together, of course, we'll have to cross out some of that, but I put a little history of where we've been on the last 4 or 5 years on the various accounts, water, sewer, and garbage. One thing that maybe before we quit, are we entertaining at all the option of getting a big city dumpster? I know you gave the woes of it always being full, but is that worth running the numbers on to see?
Okay, ask, Gavin.
Gavin?
Yeah, ask Gavin what it would cost to have a dumpster. I mean, we got a place for it, we could put it down where we used to put the iron. It's not really great, cause you only get to do one side at a time,
Mhm.
but they're open all the way through, so. The other side of that is they're not, I can tell you that they're not gonna want to, they're gonna make it cost prohibitive. Why? Because anything that's messed up in it, they have to fix.
True, yeah.
it was that Brian Phillips remains, I think that roll-off was 435 each time, and you were saying it filled up, in your experience, every few days, so.
As soon as they dropped it, it was full.
So you'd have to dump it once a week then?
And we're only paying 2,300 for these
Big
extra
more.
containers,
Okay.
well, it didn't take very long, many roll-offs, we're gonna be above that. At best, it's probably a wash.
And I assume Gavin was talking on a bi-weekly recycling pickup.
Right.
Not every week?
Not every week,
Okay.
because it's gonna be cost prohibitive for him to do it every week too.
Yeah.
And most of the time your recycling bin's not typically gonna overflow.
Right.
Christmas, maybe, but, you know, when you get lots of cardboard, maybe you went crazy on Amazon.
I'll probably need it every week.
But you know what, I'll be happy to sell you that, and an additional rate attached to your water bill for $7.30 an extra, or twice a month.
So that, I think that,
Or at least 2
was
days,
our
yeah.
garbage
Twice a week.
expense like at 95 really, if we add this 760 plus the 79, we're at more of 112,000. Did we get that bump?
Let's see.
The one other thing I did wanna say is I saw Story County, Ames.
Ames.
785 or 75 was going to be their
Yep.
recycling rate.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and they were expecting, that is only reduced because they don't have to take it anywhere other than Ames.
Mhm.
So, I don't think we're getting hurt at a reduced rate versus what Ames is paying, and they're still tracking it.
So we'd have a second can, but probably every 2 weeks. Would it be a second truck then that would come around?
Yeah, it's a recycling truck.
It'd
So
be a
it's a
different
separate,
truck.
complete.
Yeah, they can't throw it away, cause then we're not
Yeah,
saving on
yeah,
the.
no, I got
the
that,
tipping
right,
fees.
yeah. But I've seen trucks, or I thought I've seen trucks that have both half and half, that they can put both in. No issue.
Depends on if Gavin has that.
Yeah, I just don't know what he has.
Yeah,
for
okay,
equipment.
no problem at all.
Typically, the recycling cans are a different color, so it's easily
They're
identifiable
green.
which ones
Green,
are.
yellow,
Yeah.
go green.
Blue, green, something, go green.
Let's see if I can pull it up. I sent this to Wendy today. I don't know if anybody else saw this. Probably not. I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh,
And when I say pretty cool, it's about to get cooler. Hold on.
it's coming through town?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
There's the route.
No way.
And if you zoom in, it comes right through our bike trail.
No way.
That's better than Roybrook.
When is that?
Yeah.
Yes, please tell me the dates.
What was it?
I'm gonna get my
4th of July, starts on the 4th of July and ends in Thanksgiving. I think it starts in California. Run, bike, walk, wheelchair accessibility, and horses.
And horses, huh?
Polo. I don't know, 'cause that's
I
polo.
can remember during the centennial, there was a group that came through Rhinebeck that had, they were Conestoga wagons and everything, and they.
Welcome everyone to.
Yeah, we're not watching that, sorry.
And 20-minute video, no thank you.
6,800
Wendy?
miles.
Tell, let's be watching it.
It's 001-290, 6413,
Yeah, that should be 112 instead of the.
95.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Okay, and then I think the revenue has to go the same route.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more because I think there's administrative, their salaries and whatnot. Bump that up accordingly. What rate did we land on that, on the garbage, on the revenue side? Did you?
I didn't get it written down.
Okay.
Can she email it, so.
Here's the city Ames, $7.75 per household, which covers the monthly collection fee owed in Aspen, $3.50 to $4 depending on the year, plus disposal costs and administrative expenses. So I don't know that, we're not really charging administrative expenses.
Do we need to?
Maybe, but that should be factored into the water bill because the percentage of the employees doing the job.
Okay.
That should be what Tiona is figuring in based off of our salary information.
And it is.
Does
Yep.
some carry and
They're
doesn't have to do anything
our
extra?
our administrative costs are figured in, or should be figured in through all of that.
Yeah,
So
we
It's
need to
just
get
a matter
all
of
this
would
if
you
you wanna
wanna
get that.
split those further, but
Yeah,
it's gotta
Tiona-
all be paid anyway.
Tiona will need to see the rest of our information.
Yes, yes, it'll be updated tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, they're at $7.75, which is 15 cents higher than us. So I'm happy with that. Community of 50,000 versus a community of 1,000, we're coming in at a lesser cost. So
No, we were doing that comparable thing, trying to find out what people were charging for water, and I think it was Colo, they're at 24 with with recycling. So I don't know, does Pratt serve them, or is it a different?
Co-op, no.
Oh, different, but, that was the only one that was like, oh, there's $2 or $3 less.
I don't know what this is. Additional proposal for other Story County communities to do the drop-off program in their community. This is this is roll-off.
Yeah.
Per haul.
Yeah.
So $400 per haul for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, City of Kelly gets it for $325, don't ask. Gilbert gets it for $275. That makes
Yeah, the recycling was only $452, I don't know why.
That's interesting.
That's not a.
Those are county games.
Okay. Alright.
Those are county games.
Okay.
Story City gets it for $325, right?
There's Washington Township. And there's Indian Township.
Indian Creek.
Yeah.
Creek, 450.
Think they can afford that?
Ouch.
Can't afford the mother cemeteries. It's not good. Anyway. So there's that data. And what's this one? Wendy, have we heard on when we are scheduled for the City of Ames to be able to discuss?
The clerk said she got your letter. They're gathering the agreements and will place on a future council meeting. So I'll
He
keep.
didn't tell us anything.
Well, here's
Stand by, stand by.
here's where I'm at with it. I don't really need that because they never filed our 2080 agreement either.
No.
So
You're just being nice.
I'm just being nice.
That was
The
on.
same reason Roland didn't go to their council meeting.
That was last Thursday, so I gave her a
Save
little
a
bit.
trip.
Oh, what do I got in here? Oh, here's your costs. By city, by township, by Ames per year. So we would be,
Just highlight that line, hit number 13.
I don't understand the estimated premises. They whiffed on us by 115 or 140. We considered 213 premises. So our numbers would skyrocket anyway. So $9 for the Des Moines facility. $850 for the Ames facility. $884, $919, $956, $994. Monthly fee for each additional cart is $1. Late set out return charge $35. Monthly roll off $17.32. Those are the fees. Annual adjustment rate for front load and roll off services 4%. CR5. I don't know what R5 is, but
Column R, number 5 row.
is that what it is?
I don't know.
No. Maybe.
Well, you're on 13.
It's Gilbert's.
Nothing there. Line 3 shall equal line 1 and line 2. So this must just be, just recycling costs. So it'd be $9 per to go to Des Moines. Likely for us, plus $35 late setup fee. Monthly per cart's $1, so it's $10. And the roll off monthly service would be $17.32 plus 4% annually on top of the $400 per pickup. I think we're be alright with where we're at.
Yep.
760.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Doug, further discussion?
No, adjourn.
Joel,
Yes.
Perry,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Sue, are you still here?
She just texted me her phone had 2%, that was 20 minutes ago.
Alright.